Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringer's Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are back from vacation.
Not vacation.
Not vacation.
Back from being away. Steve, the architect of Ahlman, the builder and tinkerer of things. We are Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Old Man Van. He of the receding resurgent hairline news is we're in a bad state now.
Oh my God.
This is the recession before the resurgence.
So we're at the state where it's fallen completely out like before.
But that's supposed to happen, right?
It's supposed to happen.
Okay.
Does it look worse than before?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the hairline is down, but because he was pushing the shit back.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
You got like a Stephen A. Smith situation going on right now?
He looks much better than me. Go Baby Chuck, 24 karat closer, aka the Brunch Hottie. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. Okay, before we move on, I want to say something. Two things. One, shout out to Kerm for sitting in. People were fucking with Kerm.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Midnight Collective, Aleya, SOB, Zenieris, Kerm, Arjuna right now, honeymoon.
Yeah. Shout out. Hope Arjuna's having a wonderful time.
Yes.
I hope so too. Oh, daddy.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shout out to Kerm. And I apologize because when Kerm was talking, Kalika made me leave the Nerf gun at home.
Good.
She said that the Nerf gun, She said that the Nerf gun was getting Kerm shot a little bit too much. So Kerm, I apologize. But that was fun. That was a fun episode.
Yeah.
People are all up in arms. Charles got the whole town talking.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah.
What I do now?
Get to it.
Charles got the whole town talking about your
Dark Knight
Rises takes. Yeah.
Here's the thing. There was a lot more people that they're Dark Knight Rises fans. We're out there.
Yeah, it's a whole hive.
We've been silent for too long.
There are also people confusing it for Dark Knight. But
Yes.
That's
Also, can I
a
just
real
say
mistake.
this? I can tell I'm getting old and washed now because now that I just retweeted that, my algorithm is like youngins being like, the Dark Knight actually fucking sucks. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
But
all
the
right.
Dark Knight, the Dark Knight.
No, they're saying the second one.
The second one.
The Dark
Like,
Knight.
I've seen there's
The
a
one with
new...
Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
There's a contingent of younger kids who are just like, we have the Batman. Fuck the Dark Knight. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
you
you know
can-
what? It's funny. I love the Dark Knight so much, but sometimes when I watch the movie back, I could look at it and see how somebody could not be entertained by it.
I don't know.
Do you think it's getting to the Michael Keaton zone where a lot of people who, like younger people who might have grown up with like Christian Bale and Dark Knight and everything, that version of Batman seems old to you? And
It
you think
was
we're getting...
really for its time. And the superhero movie has changed so much now that when you go back and you look at the Dark Knight now, I think it's a perfect movie. But it was really for its time.
It's also that
even in the Nolan time, it was really for its time because I've showed people Inception and they've been like, they don't fuck with it.
What?
That's crazy. That's nuts. That was like the hottest movie that
And
entire
I'm honestly
year.
gonna be, this is gonna sound so mean too. I do think just as a movie going public, we've gotten dumber in terms of just like...
I think that's probably true.
those are
agree.
movies. When you go back to like Inception, like whether you like it or not, it's a movie. It looks like a movie. The plot is there, everything. And I think people want that shit faster, more Netflixy, more just...
It's also that people like really try to chase the brass ring of like the allure and bigness that is a Christopher Nolan blockbuster that capped off with like Inception and The Dark Knight. And then like the whole superhero genre now, like inducting with the Snyderverse is like, okay, let's see how we can just ratchet up those stakes to make it look like a Nolan movie.
I don't know, man. I don't think that's it. I think he made his movie with it was very deliberate.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
There's almost a small. I mean, the Dark Knight is a big movie, but it's almost a small movie in a way too. Like the world isn't at stake.
Yeah.
Like all of that stuff. I just think people don't know that that's actually what they want.
Yeah.
It is. But I'm not surprised at that take.
Also, it's I think it was a thing where you had to be there to see what Heath Ledger's Joker did at the time.
Man.
Because it's like,
Nobody knew.
We're in a
Nobody
place
knew.
where it's been like almost 2 decades of people taking these movies seriously. And when The Dark Knight arrived, it was like, oh, you can have this type of performance in a superhero movie. I think people are taking for granted that it went off like a fucking bomb.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
And there are some people who said that The Dark Knight Rises actually Thor: Love and Thundered.
All right.
That's
Come on,
man.
No.
All right,
Chill
man.
out, man.
They said.
No.
Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Save Jomi's job. I think it's pretty secure now. Jomi, what's going on socials? TikTok is done.
TikTok's cooked. Well, allegedly it's cooked.
Yeah.
I
Right,
think
we
it will be cooked.
You know what I'm saying? We still got a couple weeks.
We've been saying this all year.
That's what I'm saying, right?
We've been saying this all
But
year.
it's coming. It's got a date.
Until it's gone, then it's still here. And we'll continue to operate as it is still here until one day that it is not.
So you like TikTok.
I don't mind it.
So let me ask you this. You like TikTok. If Trump were to save TikTok, would you give him credit for it?
No.
Is there anything that Trump could do for you, Jomi, where you would give him credit
Fuck
for
that nigga. How about that?
There we go.
Really quick though,
There you go.
out of the 4 of us, if any of us was a secret undercover agent for an overseas continent government, who would it be out of the 4 Midnight Boys?
Undersea. See, it would be Arjuna, and that's and so.
Okay, that's the exact not answer.
Why?
Can we keep it to the 4 of us?
Yeah.
But see, I don't really see.
He's not even here to defend himself.
I don't see
like,
it being really the 4 of us of anyone. I don't see you guys. Y'all even, to be honest with you, I don't even feel like we even got it like that to be.
I think Jomi's a Nigerian asset. He's a secret agent.
Okay. All right, bro. That's
All right, man. We can't.
You know what I'm saying?
crazy,
I
bro.
tried to move
That's
on and make it
crazy.
Arjuna.
See,
Hey, I tried to
you
move
know,
on and make it Arjuna.
bro.
What do you mean by this?
Come on,
A
yeah, explain
Nigerian-
yourself.
Nigerian
Let him
007.
explain. Let him
That's
explain.
crazy.
Okay.
Let him explain.
Nigerian 007.
What does that mean?
You're
007?
you're infiltrating all of the highest like echelons of American media
Yes.
so that you can get all this like dirt on other people, and then you bring it back to the government and be like, this is
Yes.
this is
Yeah,
the
we definitely need to
reconnaissance.
save Jomi's job now. Bill's like, get him up.
What they gonna do with it in
He's got
Nigeria?
dossiers.
Play the drums, man. That's crazy.
What they gonna do
bro.
with it in Nigeria? We're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and House of R. YouTube.com/Ringiverse. Program reminder. Next Monday, the Ringiverse recommends comes to you with their December recommendations. I know what mine is going to be.
Yes.
Don't spoil it. Don't
Very
spoil
easy. Also next week, Min Edition is back with Jess Clemens to talk about the things they missed in 2024. On today's show, we're giving you our best movies and television shows of 2025, aka Midnight Mulligans. So we're gonna go back and go over this stuff and make sure that we gave the right scores.
We're
at the midnight
re-ranking
meeting.
everything.
We're re-ranking everything. Do you have to re-rank or can you just leave it?
No,
the same?
we're going to get to that. There's rules.
There you go. All right, spoilers for most things that came out this year. Chuck, take it away.
All right. Midnight Mulligans. Guys, I believe, is this the 3rd or the 4th annual Midnight Mulligans?
I believe the 4th.
4th? Really?
What I can
don't know.
I want to say it's the 3rd.
Got to be the 3rd because we started in 2021, and then I know we did one last year. Did we do one the year before?
No, that's true, that's true.
Did we do one the first year though?
I don't
No,
think
we
so
did
because
not.
I don't
We
think
did
we
not.
covered
This
enough.
is the 3rd. This is the 3rd. You're right.
Wait. Midnight Mulligans was actually inspired by my re-ranking of the Matrix
my God.
Resurrections.
Oh, yes!
Which we will have our annual Van reassesses the Matrix Resurrections at the end of the show.
So here's the
leaving.
thing. If people are wondering what this is, we have the Midnight Meter, 1 to 10, normal 1 to 10 ranking, 11, 12 reserved for absolute game changers. And now it has become an annual tradition at the end of the year. We open up the Midnight Meter and we are allowed to re-rank anything that we covered this year. So how we're going to do this year, first we're going to go through movies, then we're going to go from TV. We're going to start from lowest average score to the highest, and we're going to actually see what the Midnight Meter says are the best movies and TV shows of this year.
Got it.
Now, before we start, there's not really any rules, except you can re-rank anything or you can keep it just the same. Now, are there any new things that we want to add to Midnight Mulligans before we start, or are we feeling like we're good to go?
I think I'm
Sounds good to me.
good.
I think we're good to go. Real quick, as an aside, is that old girl from Spider-Man?
Yes, that is her,
Yes.
but she has a fiance. This is all PR.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well,
Should make more.
that's
wait,
PR.
Yeah, that's
That's PR.
Oh,
she, got
wait.
she got a fiance. That's PR.
Update on a crash out corner.
Yeah, he had to show some face. I
Anyway,
respect the vision.
No, yeah, okay. What was your question?
no. Do we want to add anything new to Midnight Mulligans before we start? No,
I'm good. No,
no half scores, no nothing.
Oh, no,
No,
half scores.
no
No
half
half scores.
scores.
No half scores.
All
No
right,
half scores.
now
We don't do that.
before we get to our official first pick, I put Kraven in here.
Okay.
We're gonna talk Kraven with House of R tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
but we're pre-taping this. Let's get our scores for Kraven out there.
Okay.
Van, let's start 1 to 12.
So I have a problem with Kraven.
Which is
Okay, so this is my problem with Kraven. And we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go deeper into because all I really have are questions about Kraven.
just a lot of questions.
Just
Oh, yeah.
so many questions
Yeah.
about the movie.
Yeah.
Did you have fun while you were in the theater?
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
So
Bad movie.
I really have a problem scoring it. Like some of the things that happen are so baffling that I don't know. But for the most part, I kind of was fucking with Kraven from the standpoint of cool shit was on the screen. I can't give it more than a 5. I can't.
That's even
Are you
high.
giving it a
5 is
5?
high.
A
It's a
5 is high.
I'm giving
Five
it
is
a
high.
5.
Okay,
I'm giving it a
okay.
5. I can't give it more than a 5.
Wow.
But here's the thing though. If I go to a movie and like I leave the movie like, okay, I had fun, then that's kind of
but
You know
Did
what?
you
Like,
have-
actually, this
Sure,
is good.
sure.
Let's table set this because right now, our worst rated movie, Midnight Meter, is Madam Web. Van, you gave it a 2. The rest of us gave it a 1. So you're saying that Kraven is a 5 compared to that.
yes, because Madam Web ended up becoming some kind of weird descent into madness.
Yeah.
Kraven at least had cool action.
That is true. There were a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kraven at least had cool action. I'm
And
giving
DeVoe's.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give Kraven a 5. I'm gonna
Sure.
give Kraven a 5.
All right, so here's the thing. Kraven, Steve, you were not there. Jomi, Aleya, Kermah, Arjuna, we were all there. Had a blast. We were laughing the entire time. It is not worse than Madam Web, which I gave a 1. So I have to give Kraven a 2.
Okay.
But it was fun. It has to. It's not
was
worse than
the
Madam Web.
movie fun, or do we create our own fun in the movie? You know what I mean?
Well, I literally
that be
was
the
the
same
only
thing?
person in the theater in Miami when I saw it. Like literally, there was one person in the theater, and it was me.
Tough.
Like literally,
That's pretty great.
And so,
Private
and
screening.
I had fun. The movie went from what the fuck to okay, well shit is Rhino was that guy was fun.
He was cooking.
He was cooking.
Rhino
was
kind of looked
cooking.
pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Rhino like
Looked a
Rhino
little
was
cool.
cooking.
Also, Aaron Taylor Johnson, when he was running all fours, hilarious.
That was really
Hilarious.
funny. That was really funny.
I gotta go with it too, man. That was not moving me at all. But to your credit, like there was some fun, but I think we created most of the fun.
That's fair.
I'll give that a 3 because again, like the lunacy of what was happening kind of entertained me in a weird way that like it's not as like wholesome or as like genuinely like well-spirited as a Venom movie, which I think is probably the better of all of those Sony Spider-Man outings. But this is just like insane enough while still pretty bad to be a little redemptively entertaining.
Was the character of the foreigner cool?
No.
I thought he was cool.
No, he was the worst.
I thought he was
the
cool.
worst.
One,
No.
two. I thought he was cool.
Can I just say that I'm kind of like a chameleon, like 6 times?
That was it's Kraven with a K.
Yeah, bro, so much of that stuff is like Russell Crowe took the movie weirdly serious.
Yes.
Serious as a heart attack.
You know what I'm
man.
saying? Like,
he was in it.
He was locked all the way in.
And we'll talk about it tomorrow. I want to get into it too much. There is a version of Kraven that's actually like a really good movie.
No, I agree with you.
It-
that I could see where you could think this movie's gas if it actually was played straight.
It reminded me of the superhero movies that we used to get before the MCU.
Man.
Yeah,
Where
like
they
the
were
90s
like fun,
stuff.
but like you're like
Dolph
my-
Lundgren's The Punisher.
yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part of the movie is when they would go to White Shots and have people talking because they obviously had to ADR.
ADR.
Yo,
Oh,
I
bunch of
got it.
shit,
The
yeah.
ADR. Not as bad.
All right, so for Kraven, we have a 5, 2, 2, 3. Now we're going to number 10 on our list, worst movie, Midnight Meter. Madam Web. Van, you gave it a 2. All of us gave it a 1. The average score was a 1.25. Van, are you changing your Madam Web score?
No, I'm keeping it at a 2.
Okay.
Keeping Madam Web at 2. Easy. Not gonna go into it too much.
Easy keep at 1. Easy keep at 1.
I'm moving this up to a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not.
Because I had actually because there was we had I remember in the middle of the year when this hit streaming, my friends wanted to have a watch party where we just got drunk and watched Madam Web, and we had a good time. And it was it becomes this thing where if you want to just surrender yourself to the madness and not really pay attention, but when they do the I'll be back for a week, and then she just fucks off to the Amazon for 1 week, and they're like, what the fuck is going on with this movie? And then she has the weird pregnancy dream. That's goofy. And
So
we
you had a
fun.
nice night out with your friends.
Not
and that's
out. We were inside.
in with your friends,
In with
and
friends.
that's the reason you're bumping it up a score.
Yes. Because I had one fun night
What
with my
happened to
friends
the game
at,
I love,
at the
man?
cost of that movie.
Wow.
That is a 2. It is a 2 then.
I'm keeping it a 1.
Okay.
So the only person to change it is Steve. So now we have what? We have 2 2s, 2 1s. Joker number 9. Van, you gave it actually both Van and I gave it a 4, and the Mint Boys gave it a 2. Sorry, Van, you and I. Are we going to bump this up from a 4?
No.
Are you going to bump it down?
I thought about it, bro.
Please,
I
please.
thought about it. I can't.
Please come down here with us.
I think I'm going to bump it down to a 3.
You are. I'm gonna keep it at a 4. I think.
Okay.
I thought about it though. I thought about going down, but when I look at it, it's not a movie I should have watched again.
No.
and yet you did?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Why?
Because somebody wanted to see it. Khalika wanted to see it.
Oh.
So but watching it again enraged me, but the movie didn't really change in quality. So I'm gonna keep it at a 4.
All right, Mint Boys,
Would I put it at a 1?
No, you put it at a 2.
A 2?
You got a
It's
2.
a 1. It's a 1.
you're bumping it down
Amazing.
to a
Bump it
1.
down to a 1.
Amazing.
I want
All right, well, Joker Folie Do is better than Madam Web.
They're the same level to me. So here's the thing, right? I want to talk about it more when we talk about other movies that came out this year. But I'd rather have them show me something that's we love this character, we love this world. Even if it's stupid, even if it's dumb, we're gonna celebrate it. Then be like I said last week, fuck you, I hate you, this sucks, you suck, everything sucks. That was just a disservice to me, you, every
It's
single person.
mean-spirited. It's actively a mean-spirited movie.
Don't be a dick about it.
Yeah, but just for the quality of the movie.
What
Like,
quality?
No,
What
just
quality?
no. There is a
What are you
difference
no.
between Madam Web and Joker Folie. Just even when you're looking
No,
at
I'm not
Oh,
gonna.
cool.
I'm not
If
gonna
I-
put a
if I
capital F
close my
filmmaking
eyes
on this movie.
And
No.
put my hand in 2 bowls of shit, it's still shit.
Mhm.
Charles.
It's your score, Jomi. You're down to a 1. Steve, are you going from a 2 to a 1?
I'm keeping it at a 2.
Okay. So Van is 4. I switched to 3. Jomi, you're at 1. Steve, you're staying the same at 2.
Staying at 2.
At number 8, Godzilla vs. Kong. Everybody at this table gave it a 6, except for me. I gave it a 2 for an average score of a 5. Now, I'll be real. I'm bumping this up from a 2 to a 4.
Okay.
That's a pretty big leap.
That's
a double.
It's
Big leap for you.
What made you change?
I was thinking
Diddy Kong?
about this year
What?
and having fun at
Diddy
the
Kong's in it.
what?
They put Diddy Kong in it.
Yeah, they put the little tiny Kong in it. Man, when he swings that little
Yo, when he
monkey
uses
around
him as a
like
weapon.
a nunchuck,
When
that's
I'm
some
thinking
great
of just
shit.
this year in
That's
movies
great.
and having fun in the theaters, I thought it would get better after Godzilla vs. Kong.
It did.
It really, really didn't.
No, it didn't.
So, yeah, I gotta go up. I gotta double the score because I had fun in the movie. It's a 4 now.
Yeah.
From a 2 for me. Guys, you all had a 6. Is anybody changing coming off this?
I think I keep this at a. I keep it at a 6.
I'm
keep it
keeping
at
it. I'm
6.
keeping it.
I'm definitely keeping it.
There's a lot of fun to be had here.
Yeah.
There truly is there's not a, again, when you look at this to Joker, there's not a mean-spirited bone in this movie's body.
So,
This is just made for you to have fun.
but Van,
Mm-hmm.
you also gave Venom: The Last Dance a 6, and I did as well. So
Yeah.
are you saying that Godzilla vs. Kong?
They're exactly the same quality of movie.
So you're giving both of them a 6?
Yeah, they're exactly the same quality of movie. Godzilla versus Kong is literally as good as it can be. It's very nonsensical. It's like, hey, have some fun. Go in there, watch some stuff happen. It doesn't have to be tight or well-crafted or anything like that. You're coming for the spectacle. If the spectacle delivers and you have a little fun, the movie works. Venom: The Last Dance, maybe a little bit different just because there is actually a relationship there between the symbiote and Eddie Brock that is actually worth watching. So like when the movie ends at the end, you're actually
They
like,
got you.
oh man, it's kind of.
I mean, for you.
Well, I'm talking about myself. I'm
Yes.
not talking about you.
Cool.
So yeah. So for that, to me, it works.
Uh-huh.
So you're keeping it at a 6.
Keep it at a 6 for me.
All right, so I'm with Van. I'm keeping mine at a 6. But for Venom: The Last Dance, Jomi, Steve, Jomi had it at a 4. Steve had it at a 5.
Mhm.
Are we coming off that?
I genuinely don't think that I could go lower than a 5. I really don't think so.
You don't want to bump it up to a 6?
No.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I keep it at a 5.
I gotta stick with a 4.
I think again, like the Venom trilogy, like there's some pretty redemptive qualities to it, but like it's not as good as either of the first two.
Guys, the Venom trilogy makes every other Sony movie that's not those
Oh my
Spider-Man
God.
movies. Like that shit is Citizen
To know that I had fun with every single Venom movie is kind of an amazing achievement.
I think that's the thing that makes that again upsets me with Joker so much. That like this movie, as much as I don't like it, is unabashedly itself. They lean into the symbiote. They lean into Null. You know, like the relationship between Eddie and Venom is so like spectacular and interesting to the point where like they just throw symbiotes on there. You're supposed to be like, I don't know who any of these people are.
There's
but
like
at
the
least,
sand one.
Yeah.
There's the
but at
like-
least like what's her name? Keely from Ted Lasso gets symbiote. Fuck it. Who cares? We're having
yeah,
a good time.
you get a symbiote. You get a symbiote.
Pizza. It's just like a
Christmas,
right?
Christmas symbiote.
Everybody's had a good time. We're just gonna lean all the way into the absurdity of this scenario.
I like the Baja Blast symbiote. Yeah.
Right? Joker's like, yeah, suck a dick. Like I feel like if we're being serious, I'm rocking with it.
Damn.
Like I see the vision. I can't go more than a 4.
Okay.
But to their point, at least they're
So you
doing
guys are
something.
keeping it both the same.
Yeah.
All right. Number 6. We talked about this recently. Gladiator 2. Van, you gave it a 6. Jomi gave it a 6. Then me and Steve gave it a 7. Guys, I'm going to lead this one off. I'm coming down to where Van and Jomi are at. I got to give this a 6. Not that it was not a bad movie.
Mhm.
Not a bad movie, but also I have not thought about Gladiator 2 since I left that theater.
So I wonder about Gladiator 2 for me. I wonder if it's possible to judge Gladiator 2 on its own merits. And when I say, I'm not even talking about even comparing Gladiator 2 to Gladiator 1. I'm saying one of the things that like befuddled me about Kraven is when you take a step back and look at the talent assembled for Kraven, you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like what, how could this movie have been made with the director and the lead and all of the, like an Academy Award winner playing, you know what I mean? It's like, what, like, how could this have happened? Like, what were they trying to do?
Yeah.
I think with Gladiator 2, I don't want to change it, but I do wonder if I was fair to the movie because the movie is the movie that they made.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at the film as it's Ridley Scott, it's Denzel Washington, it's Paul Mescal, it's Joseph Quinn, it's Pedro Pascal, it's all of these people, and it should be better. So I haven't viewed it again, but I wonder if I did see it again and I released my expectations of the semblance of talent on screen, if I'd have a different vision of the movie. Because when I looked at it, it was so, like I said on the pod, it was so astonishingly mediocre that I was kind of like, I was taken aback at just how regular the movie is, just how the nothing burger that the movie is. And maybe I didn't give it a fair shake.
But taking what you just said, I feel like taking the Denzel equation out of this, there's so much other talent on this movie, and I don't even think that what makes them special was unlocked even to 60, 70. Like,
1,000,000% right.
Pedro Pascal, like, it's like,
Nothing. The
Nothing
most
to do.
nothing he's
Nothing
ever
to do.
done.
you know what I'm saying? Like, Paul Mescal, like, great actor, great actor. And he probably got to like 50 to 60% of what
He's capable
what
of.
he's capable of. So I have to ding it because I'm like, after I walked out, I'm like, you can't have that much talent on
I see what you're
screen
saying.
Yeah.
and it be, you know.
To me, this movie is nothing but wasted potential.
Are you sticking with your score then?
No, I'm going down to a 5.
You're going
Oh,
down
you're
to a
going
5?
down.
Yes.
Damn, Steve.
Yeah.
Of me getting to watch this movie again, really hammered home the amount of talent that could have been here and is just not, especially from the directing of the movie itself. Like, it just feels lazy and it feels uninspired to the point of absolute derivating. And it's like, you say that you can't stop comparing it to the first Gladiator, where like I can easily keep comparing it to the first Gladiator because, like I said, it constantly compares itself to the first Gladiator. This movie does not stop mentioning its past. And because of that, it's vague. It's so far in contrast to what the greatness could have been here.
I know some stuff about the movie now. I mean, we all do now. They shot the movie in 51 days. The movie didn't really have a real script. There was a Q&A where Ridley Scott was there, and he was talking about how they shot the movie like a play. He would tell the actors just to go on set and just do their thing. And the movie was shot in 51. It was just rushed and thrown together. For what reason, I'm not really sure.
And still yet, Denzel was in his bag that whole time.
So are you changing your score?
No. I mean, the reason I gave it a 6, like just on its like levels, it's a 5. But because Denzel shows up and just like works the whole entire room, the entire movie, it's a 6, and I'm sticking with that.
Did you guys see Denzel today say that he doesn't give a fuck about who Stanley Kubrick is?
Yes.
I saw that video. That was
what a G, bro. What a G. He's like, I was outside. Man. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Bro, I wonder what... I got to talk to Sean about that. I got to talk to all my film bros about that, man.
Say who?
Because like, well, I'm not a film buff. And he like,
I would have robbed you.
It's like, I would have robbed you when you was coming out of Clockwork Orange or whatever. I'm so crazy.
But here's the thing. Denzel could say that because he's just like, catch me on Broadway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he's a real theater actor. He's like, movies.
His craft seriously.
You know?
You think I need this?
Do you see the one where somebody was like, hey, well, so you haven't auditioned, right? In like the last couple of years, he said, lady, I haven't auditioned in like 40 years. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ever since 1989.
Oh, no, what was the question? I like, was there any movie that you wish you were in? I was like, I'm in every movie I want to be in.
Yeah.
Must be nice being the GOAT.
Yeah.
Must be nice being the GOAT.
Yeah. He's the man.
He said he was going to be in Black Panther 3, and they was like, yeah, cool. Marvel Snipers they come from.
Supposedly Coogler had to call Denzel like, my man.
Nah, they'll call him and be like, so...
He's like,
hey,
Denzel.
It's crazy, dude. You know, because it couldn't be nobody. It
nicest
had to be Coogler too. Like, hey, man, listen, bro, I don't really want to have this phone call.
Like,
with
sorry
you,
to bother you, Mr. Washington.
Kevin Feige kind of on my ass.
Can you imagine Kevin Feige calling Denzel?
Nah,
absolutely not.
Ain't got the juice.
Like,
he doesn't make that call.
Kevin Feige ain't got the juice for that, man. Like, I love Kevin. That'd be
Get out of my ear with all of this shit, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, so for Gladiator 2, Dan, you're staying at a 6. I went from a 7 to a 6. Jomi, you're keeping it at a 6.
Yeah.
Steve, you went from a 7 to a 5.
Yeah.
Now, number 5,
this is the most interesting
Furiosa,
one.
a Mad Max Saga. This is the one I'm really interested in.
This is the most interesting one.
All of us gave it a 7. I'm going to lead this off. Were we too harsh? Like, looking at all the movies that came this year, obviously, Furiosa is not as good as Fury Road. But right now, the next movie above it is Deadpool and Wolverine, and I can already tell you Furiosa is a better movie than Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's really tough. I've rewatched this when it hit streaming, and there are parts of it that feel like a slog. And it's to a degree where I'm like, there's no way that George Miller did this after just doing like one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. And it's really frustrating because you have sequences in this movie that are just like the assault on the war rig, the like escape from Bullet Farm, the opening sequence of like the motorcycle chase across the desert in the night that are like genuinely inspired and truly incredible. But like somewhere this story gets muddled and dragged down a bit, but there's still like some genuine like capital F filmmaking here that I think I keep it at a 7 because I can't say I don't not enjoy it. It's really, really good.
I don't know. I'm looking at the rest of our list. And I kind of like, we might have been a little too harsh on this. It's Furiosa, I think, suffers from the same thing that Gladiator suffers from.
Yeah.
Which is like when you have something.
What?
Sorry, continue.
When you have such a legendary movie come before your sequel, and then you're switching out actors, and you're trying to make us fall in love with them, you're always going to be comparing the two. But I might have to bump mine up to an 8 just to say, like, even if it wasn't perfect,
Right.
there was some shit still in there that I'd never seen. Like,
Yeah.
it's if I'm looking at the rest of this list, outside of maybe one other movie, I think that this is probably the best made movie on the list. Outside of one of
yeah,
them.
I mean, yeah.
Craft-wise.
What's your point between Furiosa and Gladiator?
I think that there's like a genuine like laziness behind Gladiator 2 that I don't see with Furiosa. I think it was just more like it's a dip on the chip factor with Furiosa where they're like
Furiosa has the opposite problem.
right, like there's almost so much inspiration to
It's just
want
as
to
bad.
pull from that like like you might have actually like kind of overstimulated and oversaturated this story.
There's no story.
No, but
So Gladiator 2 is sparse.
Mhm.
Furiosa is overwrought.
It-
Like that entire first scene, it goes on so long.
yeah, but like that could, but like it's so weird because like that opening sequence could be your movie. If this was made like Fury Road was, that entire first opening escape out of the desert and kidnapping of the childhood Furiosa, that's just a movie in and of itself.
I know.
In the language of Fury Road.
So the thing that the movies both have in common is that they're stories that have absolutely zero need to be told.
Yeah.
Right? So Gladiator 2 doesn't need to be told because Gladiator 1 is such a contained story
Mhm.
that there's not much left to go on and make another movie in that world out of, unless you just recycle the same story, which is what they did.
Sure.
And Furiosa doesn't really need to be told. If you're going to tell a story about Furiosa, I would rather know what happens to her after Fury Road with the character that we know than to learn how she got to where she was. Because if you don't pull that off perfectly, then it's going to be like, why are we here?
Yeah.
So then like the reason why the story dips in and out of meaning anything is because there's not a natural story there. And even the Chris Hemsworth character, who was supposed to be, and that was a big part of the selling point of the movie, it's kind of just like it's another George Miller weirdo.
Well, yes, until the end. And that scene between Furiosa and Demetrius, I think that was the movie. That's the movie they should have made. It's those
yeah.
guys like going back and forth. I mean, I guess they were during the movie, but like actually having a conversation. Because like we said, I'm sure we said it when we did the podcast. Do you have it in you? Make it epic. As a trailer line, we're like, this is hokey, this is lame. In the movie,
Great.
it makes perfect sense. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a perfect climax, but there's not enough of that in the movie to go around, and you kind of left feeling like.
And I think ultimately, like, I wouldn't even call this movie a miss. I think if it was even just like, I'm immediately more intrigued by the world of George Miller's Apocalypse than anything Gladiator 2 could ever show me.
Yeah.
Do
And
you think
even
it's
if
a movie star problem as well? That it's
no, I think it was this like there was like a bit of a CGI problem that I had in some of the action sequences that I thought was a bit like overwrought and like problematic for like what I wanted out of a Mad Max movie. But really, I think it was just a saturation of a story that was like too thin over the course of 2.5 hours.
So,
but still really fun, like amazing things.
So the difference between The Matrix and The Matrix Reloaded, right?
Right.
In The Matrix, you have a bare bones, really sexy, no fat story about someone learning that the world around them is artificial and learning their power to shape it and how an artificial world makes a real hero, right? And every single part of the movie needs to be in there. Every single thing, right?
No wasted scenes.
No, right? That's the movie just moves. Then in the second one, there's a council. They're trying to give you bigger, better, badder. And you're thinking to yourself, this isn't why I like this world.
yeah.
And I feel that way about George Miller and the world that he created, Bullet, Gas, like all of that stuff. There was a lot going on there. And in order to deepen that world and make all of that stuff into some huge commentary on commerce and exploitation and all of that, it just needed more story.
Sure.
And we essentially went back to the war rig.
Yeah.
We went back to like driving the war rig and assaults on that. The first movie, very simple. Lady stolen, war rig, Max is in the middle of it. Boom, 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 boom.
The wives
boom,
are kidnapped.
Not giving you too much. Chase movie the whole time. Not giving you too much. And then when the more they put on your plate, the less the meal was as some of its parts.
The less intense it is.
Yeah.
Fury Road was just like, up to your point, it is so there's no fat on that shit. You're just like, God damn, Furiosa is
You don't breathe in Fury Road for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So y'all are all staying out of 7.
I stay at a 7. It's not whack.
Yeah.
But it's just not it's not very memorable.
That war rig scene in Furiosa was still incredible. When they like go from like
start paragliding.
They start paragliding. It's so awesome. Like I forgot that they shot a grenade at that dude, and that's what made him go up.
Yeah.
It was so fucking
If an 8
cool.
is an 80, I'm giving this movie an 80.
That's fine.
Like, not whack, just
No, that's fair.
I'm keep saying at a 7.
Yeah, I'm staying at a 7.
That's fair.
Now, number 4. Deadpool Wolverine. Van, you will have to explain this because you gave it an 8 out of 8.
Yeah.
I gave it a 6. Jomi gave it an 8, and Steve gave it a 6. Let's start with you, Van. What does 8 out of 8 mean? And can we actually get a real score this time?
Okay, so the movie is an 8. The reason why I said it was out of 8 is because I really truly do believe that they achieved everything in the movie that they set out to achieve.
Yeah.
I believe that the vision that they had of this movie, they made the movie that they wanted to make.
With no story.
With a bunch of jokes, throwing a bunch of gags on there, literally I think that it's not like they wanted to do something more and they didn't do it. So I was judging it based upon how they achieved what I think they wanted to do. I think the movie is an 8 because it was a shit ton of fun. It was very funny.
Made $1 trillion.
It made a lot of money. That is neither here nor there for me. I think the movie is an 8 just because it was a good time with some funny performances and there was enough on screen. But it was also a mess.
So you're staying at 8. Deadpool and Wolverine, Van, you're staying at an 8.
Staying at an 8.
So I got to be real. I originally gave this a 6. And I have to speak my mind and I have to speak my heart. This is not a 6.
I love you for this, Charles.
This is not a 6 at all.
I love you.
I think I have to go down to a 3.
Whoa.
I'm on the cusp of a 2 to a 3, but I'll be nice and I think I have to go to a 3. I think this movie is kind of everything that's wrong with modern movie making and superhero storytelling. And I think that I didn't want to yuck anybody's yum in the summer because I think
It's a lot going on.
Wait. So you're saying that you had this in your heart the whole time?
hell yeah.
Okay.
But it was when Deadpool and Wolverine came out, we had gone through a lot. Just as a nerd society, I think we really needed a win, and I didn't want to be like, dog, this is bullshit. But at the end of the year, I just have to be true to my heart, and I think the MCU probably learned all the wrong lessons from Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that there's just no story to speak of in this movie. It doesn't even function as a movie. And I'm just looking through a lot of the other stuff that we have on this list. It would be... I originally gave Furiosa a 7 and Deadpool and Wolverine a 6. There's just a mountain of quality difference between those two to me. So
Deadpool and Wolverine is way more entertaining than Furiosa is.
I highly disagree.
Furiosa takes itself seriously in a way that Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't.
Well, but that's kind of the point of Furiosa and not the point of...
If you take yourself that seriously, then there's stakes that you have to meet.
Sure.
Well, so this is... Actually, bring up Furiosa is a good point. So there's a point in Deadpool and Wolverine where Wolverine and Deadpool, I think they're fighting in the desert. It's when we first get to see like kind of the Berserker Wolverine on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say like Deadpool and Wolverine to me is kind of everything that's wrong with just modern action superhero storytelling. If you look at Furiosa, it still looks good. Both of these are set in the desert, but they're shot in different ways where it's like the background says something about this world and how dire it is and everything. In Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm just like, oh, you guys shot it in this way, so you can go back and insert a bunch of shit. And what it ends up looking like is just a very bland, underwhelming action scene. And when you have something that is like Deadpool and Wolverine, and you're throwing that much money on screen, artistically, I do feel like I have to ding it so many points because I'm like, y'all had this much money and it looks this ugly. There are moments in Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm like, why does it look like this? Why does this look worse than the first Deadpool movie? Why does this look worse than Logan? And I'm getting very afraid that the MCU just does not know how to even make a good looking movie anymore.
I agreed with you more than I thought with that, Charles. I think the biggest takeaway is that like I fear that they're gonna learn the wrong lessons from the success of this movie. I think they'll only see this financial success and not why this may or may not be something that we needed just to have a fun time, and maybe not exactly what we need to be doing forever for the rest of the MCU.
Well, there's a. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I while I still find it a lot more entertaining than I think Charles might have, and I think there's I can find a bit more value in the idea, in the novelty of the fact that we're just here on a silly adventure to, like, you know, have a couple of poignant moments with Hugh Jackman and, like, you know, some laughs. I think personally, I think I would bump my score down only to a 5 for that. I still think some of the fight scenes look terrible. I still think some of the jokes don't really land, and I was still kind of annoyed with the whole Ryan Reynolds of it all anyway. But I think ultimately there was still a bit more fun to be had, but I still just don't think that this is what I would like to see out of Marvel wholesale. And I just really get worried with the massive amount of success that this movie has had, in stark contrast to the rest of the MCU track record as of late. It's worrisome to me.
I mean, if we're talking about like the rest of the Marvel slate as of late, like
Jomi Adeniran will be returning in Avengers Doomsday, by the way.
I mean, yeah, of course. I got to bump mine down to a 7. I rewatched it when it came out on Disney Plus, and it was cool, man. Like, I do see where you guys are coming from, in the sense of, you hope that they don't just go, oh, if we just
let's just do this forever.
Let's just do this forever. I don't think that works.
And also just throw a bunch of older actors and be like, we don't want to do anything new anymore. Here's more Hugh Jackman.
Let's play the hits. Yeah. That's all you want.
Hits, and like the third act stinks.
It's just really, Doomsday is really getting me worried with all of these casting.
A lot of game left. But I think to your to what I think we talked about on the episode, and that Van had mentioned earlier, stuff's funny, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I went back and I'm laughing at a whole bunch of the stuff, man. So I can only bring it down to an 8, hopefully, or to a 7. Hopefully they don't like just keep making this over and over again. But again, to Van's point, it's a movie that was made to be silly, be funny, and I think they accomplished that. So,
sure.
So a couple of things. Number one, there's really no lessons that they can learn on this movie, because there'll never be another movie made in the MCU like Deadpool and Wolverine.
I don't know.
And that's I think, to me, that's the problem, because I think they'll just try to emulate that success without really.
They can't.
You don't think so?
Because Ryan Reynolds was in complete control of this, and that'll never happen on another MCU project. Ryan Reynolds was in complete control of this movie, to the point to where he was able to bring on a director that he liked. He was able to shape the story in the way that he liked. He was able to do everything. He was able to say, hey, I want to make a movie with Hugh Jackman. But that's not happening on the MCU again. This movie is
one of a kind.
It's one of a kind insofar as you have not seen a star-driven vehicle, no matter even what.
That's fair.
The way that Robert Downey Jr., even how powerful he got into the in Marvel, you have not seen a star-driven vehicle in the MCU like this. And it was because the old Deadpool movies were like that as well.
Right.
Now, they had different people who were involved from a production standpoint, from a script writing standpoint, and all of that stuff. But the character is so closely tied to its lead actor that in this one, they literally had to just let go of the reins and let him make the movie that he wanted to make. And essentially, it was a movie where his character got to make 15 jokes a second, got to fight and kick and do all of that stuff. The audience, whatever reason it was, this movie resonated with the audience. I'm really not sure why it was that successful. But as far as what the MCU, because I don't know.
Oh, like, do you feel like you're surprised by the level of success this movie's had?
I'm surprised that it was like more successful than the first 2 films. I am.
Right, okay.
Both because of the movie-going climate that we're in right now, and just because Deadpool 1 was such a better movie than this one was.
Sure, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, as far as, the trepidation behind the lessons that they'll learn from this, like, Wesley Snipes is not going to be able to go and say, hey, I want to make a Blade movie exactly the way I want to.
No.
Like, you're not going to see a lead in any of these movies that it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
And in a way, this movie was a swan song to that idea. It was like actually saying goodbye to what we saw with some of these other films, was orienting the movie around a central character and just letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there are going to be bad lessons learned from it. I think that the MCU is actually going to get back to its fundamentals, and its fundamentals are going to be less films. I'm not saying all the movies are going to be good.
Sure.
Its fundamentals are going to be less films tied together through the sensibility of one guy.
That's fair.
And that's Kevin Feige. As far as them going back to the old guard, if and when the MCU goes back to the old guard, it won't be because they wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
It will be because the audience did. So if and when the MCU goes back to the old guard,
Nah, I see the vision. I see the vision because we're not fucking with these guys right now anyway.
If and when
But
the
the
MCU...
movies, it's the chicken or the egg. The movies and TV shows weren't good. So it's like, I don't know if you can blame the audience, be like, well, the audience didn't support. Well, I'm like, a lot of it was bullshit.
Well, I'm telling you straight up, it's you can go back and look at the history of the movies and how people felt about the first Thor or even the second Thor or even the third Thor. They're hits and misses even in the first group. Now the misses are to me internalized in a different way. The misses aren't just like, hey, I didn't like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The misses are, they don't know how to do this anymore.
It's over.
Like, we're not interested in this fucking character.
Yeah.
We don't want this character no more. I've heard that from you. Like, we don't want this character no more.
No. I'm not disagreeing, but I think the fundamental miscalculation for Marvel and Star Wars is that in the beginning, even if, let's say, like, the second Thor, people weren't fucking with it, or like the first Captain America, it was just like, it was successful, but not that successful. I think it was different when you would get 1, 2, maybe 3 MCU movies a year, and it felt special. The minute the MCU comes into your house and starts fucking up your furniture and shit and not taking off his shoes, and it's just like, oh, this shit is a every other month investment, I think that's more where the audience is just like, damn, I'm giving you even more time, and the shit's not hitting like it did.
No, I get it. And so what they'll do then is, because maybe they've realized something. Maybe they've realized that they don't know how to break characters like they used to in the way that they wanted to, right? Because so they will break these characters in other big movies where we wouldn't even really realize it, right? Black Panther and Civil War and different guys that will pop up in movies and all that stuff. Maybe they feel like they want to get back to that. TV show stuff not gonna work. The TV shows you're gonna get now is gonna be a reboot of Daredevil and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, and whether or not the MCU is successful at this next year, I mean, we got Superman and the Fantastic Four coming out next year.
Yeah.
We are going back to basics.
Yeah.
And part of that is because they tried the new characters, they tried the new stuff, and people just didn't like it. People didn't like it. Blue Beetle wasn't a horrible movie. No. People didn't fuck with it. They didn't like the movie. Okay? You don't like Blue Beetle? We gonna make money off these characters.
Yeah.
We
gonna get this bread.
We gonna make money off these characters. Okay, let's see what you think about Superman. And then if the audiences don't respond to these characters,
then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Then it's cooked.
Then it's really really an issue.
All right, so Van, you're staying at an 8 for Deadpool Wolverine. I went from a 6 to a 3. Jomi, you went from an 8 to a 7. Steve went from a 6 to a 5. Now we're going to our top 3. Monkey Man. We all gave this an 8 instead of Steve, who gave it a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. Only slightly.
Oh.
I'm bumping Monkey Man down to a 7.
Mm-hmm.
Tough.
I gotta bump it down to a 7 too.
Damn.
There's nothing wrong with Monkey Man, but
wasn't as sticky as I thought it would be.
I tried to go back and watch Monkey Man,
Fell asleep.
Monkey Man be boring sometimes.
All right,
tell you,
didn't have to do that.
I tell you,
man.
I told you. There's pockets
do
that
Dev
are
like that,
awesome.
man.
There are pockets that are great.
Don't do Dev
Yeah.
like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, Monkey Man be boring sometimes. It wasn't boring enough. It pulled itself together to be a 7.
Sure. Yeah.
A 7 out of 10 is a good score, but
It's a
I
good
give it a
score.
7. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with an 8. I
Okay.
think the stuff that is really good in the movie is really good. Again, the fights and it's kind of has that. I don't want to say like spy, but like there's some elements in there that just like speak to my heart that I really enjoy. So I rock with it. I'm gonna stick with an 8.
I think I bumped this up to a 7 actually because I
Ooh.
really see
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
Dev's inspiration here, and I want him to keep making movies.
Same.
I want him to get another at bat at this
Yeah.
because
So what the fuck that got to do with the score of the movie?
because when I watched it again.
Whoa,
Like,
whoa,
there's a
whoa,
lot-
whoa, whoa! Can you
Come
let
on, man.
Steve bump your
Let him-
score
let him
up?
have it.
We let you keep your scores and shit the way
No,
they
I
are.
know. I'm talking about
And-
it, but wanting him to make
And
more
I'm about
movies.
to tell you.
Okay.
Damn.
Because a lot of his action inspiration is something that I like to see from the likes of like a Gareth Evans, who's directed The Raid. Like it's visceral. There's a lot of like
Yeah.
raw, like nitty gritty filmmaking that he's really clearly a fan of and inspired by. And you don't get to see these types of voices and these faces on screen before. And as much as I didn't really like the amount of
Come on,
man,
Come on, man. Come on.
No,
man.
you know
Say
what?
it.
Fuck
Say
this.
it.
No, this makes me mad.
Wait,
Because
come on.
you shoot the MCU so much fucking bad. Yeah, it's an 8 out of 8. It's the best it could be. Da-da-da-da-da. And then
It's an
Steve
8
is
out
like,
of
yo, I want more movies like this. I can see the inspirations. Da-da-da-da. And you coming at him like, why can't he bump his score up?
You can bump the score up. First of all, when I said 8 out of 8, I was saying that they lowered the bar for their own movie making. You guys
Mhm.
missed it. You thought I was lowering the bar. I'm saying they lowered the bar.
and Dev Patel's bar is getting a movie made. And guess what? I think he clears
You're
it.
pandering.
I'm not pandering.
Like
No, no, I'm not letting- he's not pandering.
He said we need to see faces like this on
I
screen.
said I would
and
like
we-
to see faces
I would
like
love
this.
to see
and
that.
we
And
don't
by the
get
way,
to see faces like this.
Man, they make plenty of movies like this. You just got to go outside your comfort zone to see them.
I know, but
I'm
we
not-
have star
I'm-
power
I'm-
behind Dev Patel, and he gets a
I'm not
voice
shooting
behind these
anybody
things.
any bell. Like it. Like I. Do you think Monkey Man was more entertaining than Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't.
Okay.
All right.
And guess what? And that's why I score it to a
I
7.
think Monkey Man, if I'm gonna be honest, movies like Monkey Man are way more important to the ecosystem than Deadpool and Wolverine
I
will
would
ever be.
Well, I mean, you could say that.
And I still think it's, to me, a lot of that makes it more entertaining because I'm like, okay, I get to see.
Why are they more? Why are they more?
When I look
why
at
are they more
something
important to
like
the ecosystem?
a Monkey Man, I'm like, all right, not only am I seeing like a star try to get their vision across on screen,
Mhm.
but they're doing it in a way that, to me at least, there's just like more artistic oomph there. There's a beating heart behind it. Whereas with like Deadpool and Wolverine, I like these movies. I get what they are, but Deadpool and Wolverine to me is essentially just a commercial. And I'm like, sometimes when I feel a lack of distance from it, is I'm like, well, there's no story here. This isn't a story about anything. There's no emotion. I'm just watching like a punch fest and this is the stuff that like when people are like, superhero movies aren't real art, blah, 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 that's what they talk about. And sometimes when I look at something like Monkey Man, I'm like, that's a movie about something.
What is it about?
I think it's a movie about a lot of things. I think it's a movie about religion, politics, India, the people who
and it's a typical hero's journey.
it's a
in a lot
typical
of
hero.
ways.
It's a
very
story
typical
about
hero's journey.
about the people, like even when the trans community like basically adopts him and are teaching him essentially how to recreate himself, rebirth, become a warrior. Like even that scene, not much happens in it when he's punching the bag and it's the montage and they're all clapping. That's a moment of a filmmaker where I'm like, that scene probably didn't cost that much money.
And
But
yeah, it's a little heavy-handed.
it's
And
a
maybe it's a little
heavy-handed,
rough, but like it.
But when
you
I see
get
it, I feel fucking
Okay.
something. I'm excited not just for this movie, but to see what happens next in a way with Deadpool and Wolverine. There was nothing action-wise that happened in that movie that like my heart was like, oh fuck, hell yeah, yes.
Right. So this is a matter of the way you look at the movie industry.
Mhm.
Okay. If movies like Deadpool and Wolverine are not successful, movies like Monkey Man are not going to get made.
Okay.
Okay. So like when you talk about commercials, right? When you talk about it's a commercial, well, the only reason why you can watch your football game is because of the commercials.
So our candy has become our vegetables now, you're saying.
It's always been that way.
I don't even think that that's fair because
but wait a second though. I'm just using what you guys gave me. It's always been that way. Your candy has always been your vegetables, right? Like it's always been that way. You're like it's the way that it goes. We're seeing it a lot more now because rather than Terminator 2 being the movie that, or being Titanic, or being one of those movies, it's movies with people and they're wearing tights.
Sure.
And going into those movies, because of the subject matter, people are apt to take them less seriously already. And because of Monkey Man, and because it's a passion project by an actor we all really love, and because the movie has culture, and because the movie has stakes in it, we are apt to take that movie more seriously. The bottom line is, the movie came out, people went to go see it, and it just wasn't as good as what they thought it was going to be. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that necessarily that like it shouldn't be. It was a great actual first film for Dev.
Yeah.
A fantastic first film. But that doesn't mean we have to make it more than what
Yeah, but
we
it
thought
seems like
was
you're
gonna be.
attacking.
I'm
Like, it seems
bumping up
like
from a 6 to a 7. I just liked it a little bit more than I thought I did.
Okay.
why are
that's
you so
all.
surprised that I would find it like more entertaining than Deadpool? Because like I'll put it to you this way. If Deadpool and Wolverine is a commercial, like a lot of these movies are commercials, but it's like when I look at Guardians of the Galaxy or Winter Soldier, I look at those movies and those movies have something to say, the way that they're shot, the way that they're acted. I'm just like, oh, you took something that could have been just like, oh, whatever, it's a superhero movie. We don't got to think that hard about it. And when I'm even Black Panther, all these movies, I'm like, ah, shit, they got one, you know? And Deadpool and Wolverine to me is a movie that I'm just like, I want that type of feeling from it, but it just doesn't get there because they didn't.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is comparing somebody's like passion art project and saying that that's the type of movie that has to exist for movies to actually be around. When it just depends. But I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I said it's good. I think Monkey Man is better for the ecosystem creatively. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, Deadpool and Wolverine, the industry needed hits. I'm not taking that away.
Right. So it just, in terms of what, I don't know that when you're talking about a movie discussing what kind of movies we need and don't need is, I don't know how we have that conversation, because the reality is, there's one movie that you could make, your passion project, $20 million film that you self-funded and did all of that stuff. You can make that movie, right?
Yeah.
And you can always try, you can meet up with the right crypto bros, you can raise the money, you can do all of that. But the types of movies that have to exist for there to be a thriving movie industry are movies that make a shit ton of money for studios. Like a shit ton of money for studios, because even Dev Patel, I'm not about to go make 10 Monkey Men, because Dev Patel got to put food on his plate. Dev Patel has to go act in other movies that are going to be big enough movies to keep Dev Patel where he needs to be in order to get Monkey Man made.
But Dev has said this, and when I say Monkey Man is important for the ecosystem, Dev has been very, very clear. He was just like, yo, these were roles that were not being offered to me. Like, I wasn't getting those action man.
Certainly.
So it's like, when I say like these movies are important, because it's like, oh, if I'm not getting cast in those roles, if people who look like me aren't getting cast in these roles, I got to go out there and make it. And I think when I look at something like Deadpool and Wolverine is microwaving something that I've already gotten. You're saying like, oh, here are the stars you know and love. We're resurrecting them or bringing them back because we don't got a new generation that could take the baton from them. And I enjoy movies where it's like, fuck it, if the baton ain't going to be passed to me, I'm going to take it for myself.
Right. But I think what I'm saying is, in both cases, right?
Yeah.
In both cases, when we go back to Gladiator II, Gladiator II, the reason why the movie was astonishingly mediocre is because they actually didn't take the filmmaking itself very seriously.
Yeah.
They didn't come up with they didn't give you anything in the film for you to glom onto. Deadpool and Wolverine tries to give you something. They try to give you the comedy. They try to give you the comedy in the movie to say, hey, if you think that this movie is funny enough, or if you think this movie has enough cool shit, this might be for you. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about quality-wise, like which film is actually better. I'm talking about our expectations, right? Because there are a lot of films that we go into to where we look at the craft of the movie, we look at the intention of the movie, we look at the ethos and the thesis of the film, and then we use a different standard on it than we do with other movies. Everybody, everywhere, particularly people who are making films, whether they're big or whether they're small, when they're on set, they're making something that they deeply want to be successful. Yeah. Like, deeply want to be successful. Now, sometimes they try to cheat and they try to pull on your heartstrings. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes, I gotta be honest with you, they try to use representation. And they go, this is a very important film because it has blankety blank lead with blankety blank thing and blankety blank this. And then you go to the movie and you almost feel shame or bad if you didn't have as much fun as you thought that you were gonna have. And you tepidly offer criticism of the movie because of what the movie was trying to do. And so to me, when I look at that, I'm like, giving Dev Patel, the movie is not The Raid. Right? No. And there are, if you want to watch movies like The Raid, there are movies being made all over the world like The Raid, and you could go watch them. So all I'm saying is I'm not doing any work for anyone. I'm saying if we're comparing movies based upon their intention, there isn't a such thing as a movie that's not intending to entertain people.
Except Joker Folie do.
Well, even in that, there was a tremendous amount of intention in that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like a tremendous amount of intention.
Directed the wrong way.
It just, the way that it came off was very finger wavy.
But yeah, you're acting like we gave Monkey Man a 12. I think I bumped it down 1 point. And
I bumped it up 1.
No. I'm not acting like you give Monkey Man a 12. I'm like, for the sake of the conversation, what I'm saying is there is like,
sure. And the argument that you bring to like that, where you're like, the idea that like the things that
there's a conversation about which movies are the right movies to make.
Sure.
There's no such thing.
Oh, I didn't say what movies were right and wrong. I was just like, when I talk about like a Monkey Man being better for the ecosystem.
Yeah, this is what I want to see.
This is not only what I want to see,
right
but
now.
I'm like, I'm gonna be real. There's a reason why a lot of these Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, a lot of these other movies are having problems. I do think it's a movie star problem. I do think it is a level of like, none of these actors have been given a chance to really sell movies in the way, like, even when we take the MCU, it took Chris Evans how many times at bat to convince us that like, oh, Steve Rogers. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was until the first Avengers movie where I think he finally got a handle on that character. And it was when he was in the room with RDJ and Nick Fury where you're like, oh shit. Like, nah, he's Captain America. Where I don't actually think like Dev, all these other actors are given as many chances at bat to get to that point where we'll take them serious. Like, he's a white boy, but even Paul, like, Gladiator II was probably too early in his career. He hasn't had enough at-bats yet.
You got to do more normal people?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you have to get, how to put this? I think that there's a difference between being a good dramatic or comedic actor and then carrying an action movie, superhero movie, sci-fi movie. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But there are just so many factors that are
and it's this weird balancing act in like an actor's career of like the right time, the right movie, the right place. Like that could be luck of the draw too.
And some people, it never happens for them. Like there's so many factors that go into all of this. Mm-hmm. There are cultural factors that go into this.
Yep.
Right? They're charisma factors. There's some people that want to be stars. Like Glenn Powell isn't having any problem, right? Glenn Powell.
But Glenn Powell's a handsome blonde white man.
Right. So, but what I'm telling you is that like that's always been the people that have been at the top of this. And if you were going to be something different, then you had to go about it in a different way. I'll give you an example. Like Will Smith. Will Smith becomes the biggest movie star in the world in the 90s and the 2000s. Yeah. Not an easy thing to do. And the reason why is because Will Smith made a very concerted effort to make films that had the largest possible audiences, right? So you're gonna go from Bad Boys, and then you're gonna do all the movies got aliens in them and weird technology and all of that stuff. So Will Smith is really never in a movie besides like Ali and them. He's never in a movie where the movie's asking too many tough questions of the audience. He's only really asking the audience to have fun and asking the audience. He's doing something that like black actors or black leads, like at that point would have had to have done.
Yeah.
Like Denzel during that time is making Malcolm X. Denzel during that time is making Jungle Fever. Denzel's role, Denzel didn't make $20 million for any movie until American Gangster. That's like 2007, right? So that's a long time in his career. He's making A Hurricane. He's making Training Day. So what I'm telling you is that, yeah, I get what you guys are saying, but the making of a movie star, there are movie stars who are white that everyone thought it was gonna be them, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
but they definitely got more at bats.
The Will Smith comp is interesting because you say like, especially all these alien movies, he's making all these like wide audience movies. He gets offered The Matrix, and it's like, no, this is too weird. And I don't want to say like it made Keanu Reeves into a star. I mean, he was kind of doing his thing.
It didn't make him into a star.
No, he was a star. He was well into being a star at that point.
Like it probably cemented him as something, but Speed, like. Okay,
I think it turned him to a megastar, like a international megastar.
But take Keanu Reeves for a second, right? The love that everyone has for Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves went through an entire portion of his career between the end of the Matrix movies to John Wick, to where those Matrix movies weren't very good, and he didn't really know what he was doing as far as who he was. Yeah. He was trying other things that took him outside of the realm of it. I'm really not talking about what makes a movie star or how we should have different movie stars. Oh, yeah. And it's going to be tougher for you to be a huge movie star if you are if you are a woman, if you are a black woman. I get all of that. But I guess what I'm saying is the making of stars in Hollywood, the calculus to that has changed.
Yeah.
Right, like, did you like Fall Guy?
Hell no.
I did.
Okay, so that's
Not really.
So wait.
10 on the millimeter.
So wait. That's a movie star movie.
Yeah.
That is a movie that if people liked Ryan Gosling as much as they said that they did, that movie wouldn't have been unsuccessful.
No, but that's been Ryan Gosling's problem for 10, 15 years going.
So what I'm telling you is that Ryan Gosling is everything that you would expect out of a movie star. He is charming. He is well-liked.
Handsome.
He is handsome. Got no cancelable shit. But there's something, and I'm not going to say he hasn't had hits, right? Because he had La La Land was a big hit. Barbie, but once again,
Drive.
Drive, cool-ass movie.
Yeah.
Not a movie star type of role, right? But there's something about Ryan Gosling that, for whatever reason, large swaths of audiences are not responding to. And that is what it is.
Well, that's him and Keanu have the same thing where I do think it is role dependent for them. Where they are not a Tom Cruise or a Will Smith. It is role dependent.
You can say what you say about Tom Cruise. Not to cut you off, John. No. You can say what you say about Tom Cruise.
He had a foul period.
Edge of Tomorrow, Oblivion. What Tom Cruise is doing right now, and you guys love him for it. You love him for it. Is playing his hits.
Ethan Hunt. He's Ethan Hunt all the time.
He's Ethan Hunt, or he's fucking Maverick, and you fucking love him for it. So I mean, he hasn't. Like, Edge of Tomorrow is legitimately fucking good.
Yes.
It's like legit good.
Yeah.
And people was just kind of like, we don't fuck with Tom Cruise.
But here's the thing. Also, all that shit was happening too around the superhero boom, and all them got lost for a while because that's not what people wanted to go see.
With Will now. Will just had a hit. What was the hit?
Bad Boys.
Right.
Yeah,
so
but here's the thing.
Go see these movies.
Would those same movies, Top Gun, Maverick, Bad Boys, would they have done the same business at the peak of the MCU superhero boom? I don't think they would. I think those movies came back around a time when we're like, damn, we're kind of tired of this shit. We want our movie stars back. And I think the audience was ready to be like, oh,
But
like same thing with Denzel.
But I'm trying to tell you something. You don't want your movie stars back. You want your characters back. And this is the thing that happened. This is the thing that's happening with the MCU. The thing that's happening with the MCU is you don't want Captain America back. You got Captain America. You Captain America got a movie coming out in February. You want Steve Rogers back. Right? Like you don't want your movies back, you want your characters back. And that is something that's new in terms of, not necessarily new, that's something different about the current cultural times that we live in. To where, as big as the internet is, it actually makes us less curious.
I agree with that.
It actually makes us run to our corners more. So and the Fall Guy was IP, came from a show. And the movie was pretty good. At least to me.
I loved it.
The movie was pretty good.
It's a perfect 3-star movie, and that's not a diss at all.
How do you feel about the Monkey Man IP?
What you mean about it? The Monkey, I thought I was gonna like Monkey Man a lot more than I did. Monkey Man was fine.
It was cool.
Moving on to our next primate, we only have 2 more movies. We all gave an 8 to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I'm gonna be honest, bro. Good movie. It's not an 8 though.
Okay.
I think I gotta bump it down to. I'll be nice. I think I'm gonna bump it down to a 7.
No, don't be nice. It's the end of the year, bro. Everything gets reset.
I think I'm gonna bump it down to a 6.
Nah.
Because I just haven't. Once again, if I watched a movie and I have not thought about it since I left the theater,
there's a lot going on in the world, though, brother. You can't think about it.
Because here's the thing: we're gonna talk about it late. I remember where I was at when I was watching Shogun. You know what I'm saying? I remember where I was at watching a lot of other movies and TV. Planet of the Apes. I could not even tell you who the main character is.
It's a monkey.
What's his name?
It's a monkey.
Exactly, because you remember Caesar's name.
Is it Noah? It's Noah.
It's Noah. No, you remember that because I said it.
We want our old character. To Van's point, we want our old characters back. I want Caesar back. I don't want Noah.
See what I'm saying? They try I'm just being fraud. Like they try some new shit. The shit not good. I like the movie. I think the movie is a very, very solid film. And I had a lot of fun. I'm sticking with 8.
I'm sticking with an 8 too. Yeah, I think the only problem is that it's too long. That's it.
It was a very long movie.
It's super long. No, I'm sticking with 8, man. I think the movie does what it set out to do, and I think it does it really well.
So our number 1 movie of the year then, Dune Part 2.
Hell yeah.
Van, you gave it a 12.
Yep.
I gave it a 10. Jomi, Steve, 11. I'm keeping mine at a 10. This is easily of like what we covered this year in terms of
You're finna
movies.
do some dumb shit. I can see it in your eyes.
No, this stays at 11 for me.
No. I was about to say. Ooh.
Oh.
Hey,
No.
man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This movie's a fucking gas, man. It's a 12.
12?
Great.
It's a 12.
I don't get, here's the
That's
thing.
12. God.
I'm not even mad at the 12. It's just we've been sticklers in the past about what is the game-changing element, and can it be a game changer when Inside Out 2 lapped it? You got Deadpool and Wolverine. Like,
That's just
here's
money.
what-
That's
I'm
just money.
I'm gonna tell you, how long the movie's like what, 2:30? Like it's long
Yeah,
as
it's
hell.
Damn near
It's-
3. It's damn near
It's
3
damn near
hours
3
long.
hours, right? I saw the Batman in theaters a couple times.
Mhm.
By the third one, I was knocked all the way out. I was falling asleep. It was bad.
And
I
guess
was
what?
Snoring.
It's
In
pretty
Dune-
easy for you to fall asleep.
Exactly, right?
It's honestly hard to keep you awake.
in
some movies.
Dune 2, saw that thing in theaters 3 times. I was wide awake the whole time.
Mhm.
I was locked in.
It's a good movie.
I seen the movie
Mhm.
twice already. And I'm in that thing like, hey, rock that thing, man. At least I got you, bro.
But once
I was
again,
there.
where's
I
the
was
game
there.
changing? Where's the game changing
I think
element?
I think it's a game changer in its approach to sci-fi and its approach to sci-fi adaptations.
Yeah.
I think that that honestly, the Dune, I've talked a lot, so I'm gonna try to be a little more economical. I think that Dune 2 is a perfect case study to how a big IP sci-fi movie should be made now.
Yeah.
I think that's the game that it changed.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you think we're going to get more? This is actually like an honest question. Do you think we're going to get more sci-fi movies greenlit off the back of Dune? Or is this something where it's like, Denny is just such a singular filmmaker in a similar way that like Nolan is, where it's just like these studios aren't like.
No, folks too greedy for that. Well, of course, they're gonna just be like, "Oh, cool, we can make our own Dune." Same thing when the Game of Thrones popped off. We'll get our own Game of Thrones. Amazon's like Lord of the Rings, make our own Game of Thrones. Like it's the same.
Yeah, how can we make Logan's Run like Dune?
Yeah,
But like,
But there's not. Here's the thing: if I'm an exec, I'm like,
but you don't have the money signs. Nobody's bending their neck like, "Hey, yo, we got to get this bread." Look over there, you see Dune, what they doing with Dune. Let's go make our own Dune. You as a creative are like, man, it's looking like Denny with Timmy and all the people around him looks like they got a singular force. It's like one in a generation type vibe. You don't see that, or you see that. The creatives are like, yo, we got to get, or the producer like, yeah, we got to get this bread. Studio heads like, yo, we got to get this bread. How do we get this bread? How do we try to capitalize on the success of doing it in our own
I also
way?
see every single person in this cast that's like in their 20s, like being christened as a movie star
well,
coming
no,
out of this movie.
This is the moment.
Tim-
Like
Timmy,
Zendaya,
Zendaya.
like gold plated. Austin Butler, as much as I hate to say it, that dude's got the juice.
As long as he talks
Y'all
like
need to
himself.
stop hating on Butler.
He
bro.
got to talk like himself. He's
Why y'all
from,
gotta stop
he's
hating?
from
He does-
Orange
he-
County. He's not
Yeah.
Elvis. Okay, I see Zoe 101. I know what you sound like.
Bruh, you weren't complaining when Drake was switching all the accents. Let these actors
man.
fucking play these roles.
First of all, I absolutely was. It's like, brother, man, you ain't never sound like this before. When did
Drake,
this come
Drake
from?
gotta go Afro beats.
Nah,
Is that the only one he hasn't tried yet?
Hell no. He gotta go tour.
Drake gotta do a whole tape. This could bring Drake. This is what Drake should
What brings
do.
him back? What's the playbook?
Drake do a whole tape with Burna Boy. What was Drake and
right,
Future
man.
did? What was
Burna
the name
Boy
of the
doesn't,
tape?
Burna Boy doesn't need
What
Drake.
Time to Be Alive. The next one should be What a Time to Be in Lagos.
Jesus Christ. Turn it
Okay,
Is
off.
this
what
the
is
answer
that?
that
So
you're bringing back to
so
the
you're
embassy?
saying-
Turn it off.
You want him to double down on the colonizer accusation.
Fuck it. Like
Lean in all the
what
way.
A, like
Lean
What
in.
a Time to Be in Lagos is Drake and it's Burna Boy.
What a time.
You know, like-
To be in Lagos.
You know what I'm saying? That shit was
And
tough.
then he has to get, he needs to call up DeRay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Get really involved in the politics. Be
Nah,
like,
DeRay not-
get
DeRay
it really.
not taking
Get
that.
it-
DeRay not taking that call. I don't think DeRay taking that call.
So keeping
Shout out
it
to my
11 for Dune Part 2.
I think Dune Part 2 is the definition of a 12.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Bold,
disagree.
ambitious, artistically,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
artistically amazing, and then also what 800 million? Am I overestimating? What did it do?
I think it's close to $1 billion.
Yeah, close to $1 billion.
Yeah, like 800 million
It
bucks.
looks incredible. Oh my gosh. You guys see Wicked?
I don't know.
Yeah, so Wicked.
You saw it. I know you didn't see
I
Wicked.
didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to see it
You
yet.
didn't get a chance to see
Mhm.
it yet?
Yeah.
Interesting. We talk about like movies not looking good. They're because I like the movie. I'm not a musical person as somebody who like did musical theater and all that stuff. This is not, it's not vibing with me. But I tell you, man, I left that theater. I was like, wow, this is what it means, bro. Movies
liked
are
it?
back. I loved it, man.
Have you seen the show?
I loved
Have
it.
you
No,
have you seen the
never
musical?
seen the
Okay,
show.
okay.
Never seen the show.
I'm very curious to see how Part 2 is because there's a big consensus being like pretty much all of the great songs in that show are in Part 1.
tough. You hate to see it.
And like it's tough to sell. Like okay, so
Tough.
Dune made 714 million.
That's good.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Good.
So great. I still think like there's like maybe I don't know. I still can't put my finger on what keeps it from a 12 for me. But
Because you a hater.
no, yeah, maybe. But it's there's really just something that's undeniably cinematic about what movies can do
Yeah.
with this as an 11 for me. And I'm like, I can't not recommend it to anybody.
I think the thing that
It's
keeps
so
it from
great.
a 12 is just the emotional component.
You don't think it was Christopher Walken being like, listen, moi, Deeb.
No, that actually gives it a lot of points.
That's
I think Dune
That's
2,
what keeps it at a
Dune 2
12.
is like literally like probably, if not the best movie experience I've just saw. Like it is just, I
Mhm.
think it at some times can be like a very cold film. But that's okay.
Lisa Logan.
All right, guys, we are back. Here are the Midnight Mulligans for TV. Coming in at number 10, Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Van and Steve gave it a 5. Jomi gave it a 4. I gave it a 2. I'm going to keep this very easy. I'm keeping this at a 2.
This is going down for me. This is going to a 3.
Oh, Steve!
Big Steve.
Yeah.
Let the people know.
Bad.
Ooh.
Just bad?
Yeah, it's bad.
Because the average score that we originally had this at was a 4.
Mhm.
I don't know what to say about this because I
I'm so.
Do you remember what happened?
I'm
in
so
this?
sad
sad
why
that
I
this
gave
is
it a
your
5.
first. I'm so sad that this is your first impression of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I really am.
That
No, he's
shit-
watched some of the cartoon series.
A little bit. That shit is whack. So,
right.
so
That's all right.
We don't have
need
time.
to-
We don't have time
We
to
actually
unpack
don't have
that.
time.
So I gotta leave it a 5 because I guess
You don't really have any
I
strong
gotta-
feelings.
yeah.
either way.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah,
fine.
you know
That's
what I
fine.
mean?
You're leaving it a 5, even though you could not tell me what happened.
I don't remember what happened.
That's fine.
This is the yip yip.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay,
Secret
the,
Tunnel?
The,
Yip, yip.
the yip yip niggas was there. But like it's probably lower. It's probably like a 2. But I can't really. I gotta be fair. I don't remember
That's
nothing
fine.
about it.
I don't need to think rationally about
I
this.
remember
This-
too much
this
about
feels
it. What did I
offensive to
put
me.
it as?
Jomi, you had it at a 4.
That's a 3. Yeah.
Ooh, so
Yeah.
Steve and Jomi both went to a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3.
I kept it at a 2. Van is keeping it at a 5.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Now, this is going to be interesting.
this is the toughest one.
This
The
is the toughest
Acolyte,
one.
Our average score total for this was a 5.5. Everybody gave it a 6 except me. I gave it a 4. Van, are you keeping Acolyte at a 6?
It can't be a 6.
Wait, why
I
did
feel
you
like it
originally
can
give it a
be.
6 then? I did. Here's the thing. Sometimes I don't know about y'all. I do feel bad when there's like series that are like getting ravaged.
No, this was legitimately one of the biggest bummers of the year. for me.
Yeah.
Wait. I think we gotta.
Bummer
Yeah.
in the sense that like the things that we had the potential on the screen that we saw.
There was stuff in there that
There
was
was
good.
so much good stuff in here, and it
We-
was just not capitalized on.
We have to talk about it though. I think, and this is the perfect venue to talk about it. Where are we coping? when the show
No,
came
no,
out-
no, no. Because
we
there
were
were
not
two episodes. There is a lightsaber. There are 2 lightsaber fights in this.
Some of
Yeah.
the best
that
I've ever
I
seen.
think you could put in top 10 lightsaber
Yes.
fights in Star Wars.
Yes, but remember when the first show gets announced and we see the cast and everybody's like, okay, there's a black woman on Star Wars, not my Star Wars. And we start to cape and we're like, okay, nah, well, let's watch the show.
Mhm.
Then we get to the end and it's not exactly what we want.
Yeah,
So some coming there. Like, are we in there? Like, are we
I
being
think-
protective? Or do we need to be honest with ourselves in this moment right now and shed all that and be like, this is what the show is, this is what it was. We have to market the way it should be.
I don't think that we weren't unaware of the show's flaws as we were going through it, and I think that like it was really a roller coaster in the middle of that season
Mhm.
to think that wait, maybe this could stick the landing and like have some juice left in the tank here, and it didn't. And it was more befuddling by the fact that we just didn't. We saw the vision,
Yeah.
for a good portion of that middle half of that season, and it just could not really get it together. And it really, really bummed me out because there's so many good things that are in this show. There were so many good things in this show.
There are worse Star Wars TV shows.
Absolutely, there are.
You know,
There
so
definitely are.
so 4. I'm keeping mine at a 4. I think that was fair then, and it's fair now.
Shit. Well, if you rated a 4, it's not that many worse Star Wars TV shows. Shit. A 4,
Boba Fett.
so you think Boba Fett? You would rank Boba Fett lower than a 4?
There's nothing as embarrassing as the fucking Power Rangers of Boba Fett. I'll be so
That's
serious.
that they
When he did that little twirl.
Yeah, nah,
Them
man.
niggas-
He was
them niggas ready
stumbling.
to go.
He had that thing.
I want to lower it, but I can't. And I'll tell you why. I feel like 6 is. When I looked
It
at the
feels right.
score, I was very surprised that I gave it a 6. But I'm trying to remember. I personally remember the high moments of the show being good enough to, I think. I just said it can't be a 6. The next one that we're about to do is definitely going down. But
All right, you know, like,
But I'm gonna keep this a 6.
should we reveal what the next?
No.
no.
Let's hold on to that.
Okay.
I think you're right. The highs of the show are so high that you hold on to that. You remember that.
Yeah.
But to your point, oh my God, do the lows suck, bro.
It just hurt when the lows came after all the good.
There's some nuggets in there. There are, like you said, scenes and plot lines that are so interesting, so well thought out.
Tantalizing to a Star Wars fan.
And then-
truly.
And the show does this thing where a man had this cool moment, this cool scene, be like, bam, I'm wait. Next week, I can't wait. It's a flashback, and we don't learn anything.
Mm-hmm. It was an immaculate 1.5 episodes buried within another
I think
6.
it was a little bit more than that.
2 episodes, like there's extremely cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I get it.
and that's just buried under like some like goop and slop that it didn't need.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so I'm gonna stick with a 6.
Same here.
It's like,
I'm sticking with a 6.
We're all sticking with our scores.
Yeah, because I don't think you get like it's not as good as you want it to be, and it's not as bad as like people thought it was. But at the same time,
just like, ooh, it hurts.
It hurts. That show should have been better. That show should have been
way better. And honestly,
minimal.
frankly, I'm still kind of bummed that it doesn't get a second season because of all of the things that could have stood to be improved upon. Knowing all the gripes that we've had, like, filter out the noise, not my Star Wars incel bullshit.
It's new era TV, man.
If you had the chance to like listen to those critiques, man, you could have had something.
All right, so we're all staying with our original score, meaning the average score for this is a 5.5 for the Acolyte.
This was cope.
All right, next. All right. I don't know what the fuck we were talking.
I don't know how
we were cope. This was cope. This was cope.
Echo is at number 8. We all gave it a 6 for an average score. So like,
okay.
I think it was the beginning of the year. We didn't want to be mean.
We were trying to be nice. I
nice.
also think that it wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be.
True. All we heard was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as what we thought it was going to be. Daredevil came out real early, and then it was stupid after that.
It's tough. It's really tough.
You know what? It's the end of the year. I'm okay with being an asshole. If I gave Avatar a 2, I think this one might be a 3.
I gotta go down to 4.
I gotta go down to 4.
5.
I gotta go down to 4.
5.
Ah man, that was.
I feel really bad for this one.
It sucks, man. Like again, this was a thing where you're like, man, Echo's cool. Echo is fucking cool.
It's a show they never should have made.
Okay, sure, you're right.
Yeah. Wait, how do you guys always get on me where I'm just like, why they make this show about this character nobody gives a fuck about? You like this.
I never disagree with you when you said that. I think that's actually really true. I think people they misgauge the amount of not giving a fuck. Saying that nobody cares about Black Panther is just a lot different than saying nobody cares about the Eternals. It's not the same.
It's not the same. This was an all-time heat check from Marvel. They were like, "Oh, y'all like that character Hawkeye, right?
Don't you worry."
6 episode, boom. We got you.
Did we like her in Hawkeye? She was cool.
Yeah,
somebody did clearly because they gave her 6 episodes on.
I'm keeping it. Yeah, so. I think keeping Echo goes down to a 5 for me just because like I could see the potential.
Nah,
I truly could. Alako Cox like really has something like really compelling on screen when she's there.
Agreed.
And I really think that when she's doing her thing, it's just she's really, really good with Charlie Cox on screen. Like you can't not say that moment in the pilot with those two interacting isn't dynamite because it is.
Mm-hmm. You think she's getting called up for the Daredevil series, or they're like, yeah?
I bet you. Well, no. Okay. Is She-Hulk coming back for Daredevil? Yes or no?
I don't think She-Hulk gonna be in that bitch.
I kind of want to.
What? Nah, they gotta keep She-Hulk away.
I don't think She-Hulk gonna be in that
Not
bitch.
hulked out, but just like if she's there.
Tatiana Maslany, she gonna be there.
I think
maybe. Y'all hating. She gonna be there.
Because if she's not, then Echo
the
definitely is.
If we're being honest, because this is the time, She-Hulk was terrible, God. Y'all, She-Hulk.
I don't think it was terrible. No. I don't think it was terrible.
She-Hulk
was funny.
She-Hulk was funny.
I thought She-Hulk was funny. I do think there was some story mishaps, but in terms of like just a 30-minute like MCU comedy.
Yeah.
So to be real, our average for Echo went from a 6 to a 4.
Okay. I'm sorry, Echo.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
All right, now for The Boys season 4, we had this shit average at a 6.75. Van, you gave it an 8. So did Jomi.
Sticking with it.
Steve gave it a 7. I gave it a 4. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a 4. My feelings about it are still the same.
Yeah, I'm. Despite the fact that it was able to accurately tell the future,
God damn it,
I am definitely sticking with an 8. Like I liked the season. It wasn't as good as past seasons, but I really liked the season.
I'm gonna go down only to a 6. Just because those middle parts of the season were just a bit of a slog. It took too long to get to something new.
Damn, I thought I was gonna be the one coming in.
I'm just one.
Steve is like, this going down, this going down, this going down.
Monkey Man is too radical. Oh my god.
Wow.
Show me.
I'm gonna stick with an 8. I don't think there's nothing in my head that could demerit it to drop down. Besides the fact that it was completely right about everything that's wrong with this country. So
yeah.
Damn. All right, so Van Jomi staying at an 8. I'm staying at a 4. Steve dropped it down to a 6. Invincible season 2. Van and Jomi gave it an 8. Steve gave it a 7. I gave it a 5. I'm gonna be so real. They like Invincible season 3 is coming. Invincible season 3 is coming, and
You're out.
I'm so out on this. I don't know why I gave it a 5. This shit is. Yeah, I think this shit has to be a 3.
Oh,
Jeez.
That's crazy.
I'm staying with 8. It was sloppy, very.
The mid-season
Actually-
break is the dumbest thing that's
I-
they've
Yeah,
ever
no,
did.
and
Good
this
to
is-
know that they'll never do that again.
I actually rewatched, and it's good. The break fucked it,
Yes.
and they threw a lot at us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna stick with an 8 with Invincible.
I gotta drop it down to a 7, and
Ooh, Joan.
and I'm really like, I cannot be this guy. Like, I do not want to be this dude. But I'll be watching some anime, man, and some of them fight scenes, the animation be going crazy.
Whoa!
And I'd be looking at Invincible. I'd be looking like, yo, man, what's going on, bro?
And can I tell y'all something? I think this is another reason why.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
It's different for
Joan, you was watching Don to Don. You
I was like, yo,
Invincible
he
not
was just
feeling
watching
like
Don to
this.
So see, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's another thing for me is that like I don't have a great frame of reference for like animation because it looks fine to me. But
It's
everybody
cool,
complains
yeah.
about it. Like literally, I'm definitely wrong.
Here's the thing:
because everybody complains about it.
if you watch more stuff, if you see some of the stuff that people are making, like
Yeah.
I saw Corey Kenshin came back to YouTube and was like, "Yo, I'm working on this manga and hopefully it's because anime, at least in a cinematic
Right.
little thing." It was cool as hell.
Yeah. I keep it at a 7.
I love it. I'm gonna be there for season 3. You're out. I read
I'm
the comics.
out.
I can't
I'm
wait
out.
to see what they do. But I just know there's another level they can reach, and they, for whatever reason, have not done it.
Yeah. It's for that exact reason that I keep it at a 7.
So Van, Steve keep their score at 8-7. I went down from a 5 to a 3. Jomi went down from an 8 to a 7. New score is average 6.25 for Invincible season
That's
2.
fair.
Mhm.
That's fair.
All right. Number 5 and 4 are interesting. Number 5, Agatha All Along. Number 4 is Penguin. So for Agatha All Along, Van Jomi had it at a 9. Steve gave it an 8. Y'all guessed that I would give it a 5. Van Jomi still feeling that it's a
Wait,
9.
wait. Where did you get? Where are you gonna give it?
Oh, I'd like to go last.
Are you?
I want to hear what you guys.
Just let him get to it. I'm at a. I'm still at a 9.
You're still at a 9.
Yeah.
Jomi?
Bring this up to a 10.
Ooh.
Bring it to a 10.
What changed?
Whoa,
We
Joemster.
talked about Echo and how that show, A, nobody asked for it,
Mm,
and B, who cares, right?
right.
Like, just legitimately.
Yet
like,
another, yes.
This was
True.
This was the show when they first announced it. I was like, yo, get this out of my face, bro. I don't care. Like, this is legitimate. Like, I liked Agatha in WandaVision. I don't need 8 episodes of her, like, at all. Like, I can live my life without knowing more about Agatha Harkness. I will be cool.
Yeah.
Right? This show came out, and I was like, yo, I need more. Lock me in.
Mhm.
Every week, I was like, lock me in.
Catherine Hahn's got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something that I didn't know I needed in my life.
Mhm.
The fact that I got it, I'm very grateful that I was open and accepting to new things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so for that reason, like specifically, besides the fact that the show was awesome, it was funny, it was well acted, well directed. With again, remember that scene where they're flying over the moon with the broomsticks and stuff?
Mhm.
They did that with like puppetry and stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like that was it. Like this is the kind of stuff that more like we should see more of
Mhm.
in this space. And so yeah, I gotta bump it up, man. That shit
All right.
it meant something to me.
Steve, are you
I
bumping
keep
this
it at
up
an
for
8.
me?
I keep it at an
You're
8.
keeping
Had
it
a
at
great time with this. Really, really did. Again, it's very surprising how much I ended up liking this, knowing that like did not need this in my life at all
Mhm.
before this happened. And I'm so pleasantly surprised. Charles.
So I'm going over my scores right now. So I got The Boys at a 4, Invincible at a 3,
All right, this
The
one's-
Acolyte at a 4,
Yeah, a generous year from you.
Echo at a 3, Netflix's Avatar at a 2,
Oh boy.
and y'all said I would give this a 5.
Yeah.
I did enjoy The Boys more. So I
All right.
got to give it a 4 if I'm going to be fair.
Okay,
All right.
we were right
Okay.
along there. 4.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
right there.
you guys, it was actually going to be a 5. But now that I was looking at The Boys, I did have to kind of compare of like, which one would I want to
Which
watch?
would you watch more? If The Boys is a 5, then this one can't be a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Agatha, so Keeping it at a 9 for Van. Jomi went up to a 10. Steve's staying at an 8. I'm going down to a 4 for a 7.75.
I'll tell you one thing that we did. We definitely overestimated your score on this next one. Let's get
Damn.
All right, Penguin, Van, Jomi at a 10.
Easy.
Steve is at a 9. Y'all
Yeah.
guessed that I'm at a 6. Van, Jomi, are y'all keeping it at a 10?
I'm keeping
I'm
it.
at a 10.
I'm upping it to a 10.
You're
keeping
upping
it.
it to a
Yeah,
10.
I'm keeping
no,
it.
this is like I rewatched that like the last 4 episodes the other day. It was
Yeah.
really good.
I'm keeping it.
No, because here's the thing. I'm fair.
Uh-huh.
I'm very fair.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You finna say some
I
bullshit.
don't think you finished it.
I definitely didn't finish it. I didn't finish Agatha either.
What the fuck?
Oh,
What's
well,
the
you
point
didn't
of
watch
the
this shit.
exercise?
You didn't watch this shit.
Then what's the point of the exercise?
No. That is part of the exercise because
No,
if
no,
I
no,
didn't enjoy
no,
it, if
no,
I didn't
no,
enjoy it
no,
enough to
no,
finish
by the
it,
way.
No,
Keep this in, by the
You
way.
got a job.
This
You
all
got a
stays in
job
the
like the
podcast.
rest of us.
Hey, do not take this out.
no,
Then,
don't
like,
take it
keep
out.
this in the podcast.
Keep this in. He didn't
This is
finish it.
unserious.
How's it
didn't
unserious?
do- he
That's
didn't
part of the
do-
score.
He didn't.
No,
do-
no,
You
no, no,
can't
no,
watch
no,
like
didn't
3/4 of
do
the
it. He
You know what?
didn't
Because
do
it's
his
like this
work.
thing. You want to know
You
what it's
can't.
like?
No, you can't watch
I'm-
3/4 of
I'm
the
at the
movie.
restaurant. You know what I'm saying? What's
What?
the Ratatouille critic nigga name?
Antonigo.
You know what I'm saying? I took one bite. I was like, damn, I kind of want to spit this out. And I just didn't want to finish the meal of Agatha or Penguin. But you guys, I love y'all. Y'all my boys. Y'all said I would guess a 6. And it is pretty close. If I gave Agatha a 4
From all the stuff you've watched.
this
Just
year,
answer me this, Chuck. How much of Penguin did you watch? How far did you get,
y'all know how I went on vacation?
nigga?
Nah.
How much of it did you watch?
Literally like the last, whatever was the last episode that I
That we
left before
covered?
vacation. So I think
So
the
it's like
last
four,
thing,
like
the
four.
last thing I saw was the flood. Wait, no, it was after that.
When
It was-
Sophia gassed everybody.
Sophia gassed everybody, but then like Penguin was fucking mad, and then they revealed that they had like an underground layer.
Oh, okay. So you got
Okay.
you got
It's
to
like
like
2
5.
episodes.
Yeah, you had like 2,
2,
3 left.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, come
I
on.
literally like last night. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finish Agatha. I'm gonna finish Penguin. Nigga, I turned on martial arts.
Inadmissible.
Yeah.
Inadmissible
So I'm
score.
giving this. You guys were close though. You guessed that I would give it a 6, and I think to be fair, I would have to give it a 5.
There you go.
Great.
5 didn't. We have to like for Agatha and Penguin. What was it? 5, 4.
That's but here's the thing. That's
Jomi,
part,
you're
of,
keeping
the,
it
that's
at 10,
part of
yeah?
the score.
What?
Jomi, you're
Yeah, I'm
keeping it
at 10. That's a
yeah.
DNF though. That's just
Yeah, it's
for
a
you.
DNF.
No, here's the thing. It didn't.
That's an
The
asterisk
TV
score.
shows
Yeah.
to me weren't entertaining enough for me to want to finish them. What?
Brother,
Guys, can we be honest? Can I be honest?
Mr. Serious Critic doesn't even finish the whole
Walked out
thing.
3/4 of the movie. Was like, hey, nah,
Shit, man.
nah, here's
I saw-
my
here's
review.
the
Here's
thing.
my review of the movie.
I
I
saw
didn't finish.
everything I
real.
needed to see.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm happy that he kept it real on that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
There you go.
No, you definitely
That's
won't.
that's
It might
integrity.
be-
That means something, man. There's a lot of niggas don't be finishing.
Yeah, it's cooked.
It's cooked. A lot of people. Do. I appreciate that shit.
Wow.
All right, our top 3. This is
Oh,
actually going to
man.
be really interesting because our third pick was House of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Then you gave it a 10.
Yeah.
The Mint Boys both gave it a 9. I gave it an 8. Here's the thing.
Oh dear.
I do feel like we were a little harsh on House of the Dragon.
I think so too.
Because I think we were comparing it to Game of Thrones in the other season. And
Yeah.
like where it ended, I think we were like, oh, fuck this. They out on the
Yeah.
last episode. You know what I'm
I
saying?
can't say that. That's offensive.
Just let him fucking talk.
No, whoa. Jomi, you think
No,
I'm
no.
tripping?
Ah,
People
Jesus
get mad every
Christ.
time.
Wait, we can't say
You
that?
can't say that. You can't
Oh,
say
shit.
that.
We can't say that.
God.
Bleep that
You can't
out.
say
I
that.
didn't know that was a bad
You
word.
can't say that. It's fine.
It's fucking fine.
Sorry. I didn't know
okay.
we weren't allowed to say that
People
anymore.
not gonna be mad at you because you 45 and shit. They're gonna be mad at you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Bleep that out. Anyway, we got robbed.
How many gypsies y'all know? I'm being for real, bro. Like y'all
shadow
know
this.
Y'all
Deep
know how
shadow
many
this.
gypsies y'all know.
Joey trying to have my
Deep shadow
back.
this.
He trying to have my
It's
back.
fine, man. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead.
You gotta start from the beginning.
All right. I felt like we were a little harsh on House of the Dragon because the season finale did not end where we wanted it to. But I'm looking at the rest of this year. I had it at an 8. I gotta go 9.
My man.
This is the only one you've gone up on.
Man.
Maybe in the history of Mulligans.
No.
No.
Whoa. I definitely, I didn't go up
What'd you
on
go up
anything
on?
else.
I'm
What did you
pretty sure
go
you
up
went up
on?
on to something today. I feel
I
like.
definitely went Whoa. Furiosa, Mad
Yeah.
Max.
Okay,
from a
okay.
7 to an 8.
Yeah.
Come on, don't do
You
me
mostly
like that,
go
Steve.
down though.
No.
Pause.
If we're gonna be honest, I stayed the same for most of these.
Yeah, I think most people. I think
We're getting better at this year over year.
Nah,
'cause
you,
I think we're taking it
Invincible
more-
from a 5 to a 3. I don't know what you were on there, but
So
You
I'm
said-
saying the same with. I had a 10.
Yeah.
You can't go any higher than 10. I really thought it was a fantastic season.
Yeah.
Now, all of the criticisms for the abrupt ending of the season and how they didn't give us as many episodes, all of those keep it from being an 11 to me
sure.
because
Yeah.
they had a lot of stuff going and they did a lot of stuff.
I
right.
don't know why they didn't invest as much as they did for the first season.
Brokies.
It had to have been something because
Also, strike stuff, right? No
strikes and stuff, but like, yeah, maybe.
No, I think the strikes heavily
Sure.
impact this series.
But it's man, I really hope they come back for 10 next season because
Yeah.
I think to know that they would have to like they really pedaled too fastly to the finish line to 8 feels tough. I still keep this at a 9 for me. It's still great. It's still really, really like head and shoulders above a lot of TV that I've seen this year.
I think.
So you're saying the Penguin is better than House of the Dragon?
Yeah. I had a better time with that. I did.
I think that's fair. I'd have to stick with the 9 too. I think Game of Thrones in general just needs 10 episodes. We talk about House of Dragon season 1 versus season 2, and you even think about Game of Thrones when they started going to like 7 episodes, 6
Right.
episodes, falls off a little bit. You kind of need more episodes to flesh some stuff out in that world because it's just so. I would say exhibition, but a lot of people talk. It's a lot of conversations, a lot of these relationships that make it worth it when they start fighting and when they start killing each other. And so, yeah, I hope they get back to 10.
Do we think that
episodes.
Damon was fucking around in Harrenhal too long?
Hell yes.
He
I
wouldn't
don't
have
know.
been had they had a couple more episodes to get to the end of it.
Right.
But if they did it the way that they did it, you could argue that
Because that's the biggest complaint that I can remember when it was happening. And even then I'm like,
It was
I
this
like
season
that
was a
stuff.
little
Sure.
it was a little stationary. It was a little bit
But
like
isn't the book in the book? Doesn't he go to Harrenhal?
it's like half of
we
a chapter.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell he did. and he
Which
comes
honestly
back.
is so funny to me because he comes back from Harrenhal in the books and is just like, yep, didn't really have that tough of a time. Like no problems here.
right. And so then you just cut Matt Smith out of the show for however many
And
episodes.
yeah, you can't do
these are
that.
these are the questions that you
Yeah.
have to answer when you're adapting. something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
all right, so House of the Dragon, Van, Jomi, Steve staying the same. I upped my score to a 9 now for the number 2 TV show of the year.
This
X-Men 97. Van and Jomi are at a 12.
Yeah.
Steve is at an 11. And honestly, I'm very surprised. I gave this a very fair score of a 6.
Fair score of a 6.
I was ready to fight you.
No.
I was
Brothers.
legitimately
No.
ready to fight you.
Speak. Where you at, my man?
Actually, I'm not even lying to y'all. I need some time. I really didn't think. I didn't have any ulterior motives before I came in here. I really got to think.
All right, here's what I'll say.
on this. I don't get the game changer. I will say, similar to the other 12 we gave out, I don't see the game changer still.
Brother man, there's been a couple of the original X-Men TV show, Wolverine and the X-Men Evolution. Like they've made X-Men on TV
Watched
before.
them
It's not the first time.
Yeah.
Right. This show is I want to say the first time I've seen the X-Men adapted to like real life in a way that I've never seen before. That was every week in and week out, they would surprise us. They would shock us. They would make us feel something in a medium that people don't really like. We fuck with animation.
Mhm.
General at large, like, all right, cool, it's animated. The Chris Ryans of the world, like, all right, y'all animated that joint. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
That I don't want to be hyperbolic about it. I don't want to be hyper verbose to you, borrow one of your words. That's like one of the single greatest television achievements I've seen in a long time.
I think,
frankly.
in terms to his point, I think dramatizing the X-Men experience from comic book page
Yes.
to moving media has not been done better in live action or in
Okay.
anything. And so that's the game-changing element of it to me. And to make the comic book leap off the page into something that you were consuming in that, was it 30 minutes the shows were?
Mhm.
I thought it was fantastically done. And I thought that it's actually another reason why it's a game changer to me. It's just a blueprint for how to attack the portrayal of the X-Men going forward.
Yeah.
I think it's sublime.
I think it feels like a standard bearer for serialized comic book storytelling in a visual medium, like straight up. That like from a week to week, like not only on like a weekly adventure, but like seemingly adapting and carrying over storylines that are both known to us and giving us fresh new twists and interactions and conversations from characters that we wanted to see desperately. Like we were coming home to some old friends is incredible to me.
Every
Are
week,
you going up to a 12 then?
No, I'm staying at 11. I'm staying at 11.
every week,
Saying
we're
it up.
like, man, I don't know how they'll top that, and they just kept doing it.
Yeah.
They just kept doing it. Like I don't know what else to say.
Goblin
about it.
Queen, call me.
Man, you know.
Never
Yeah,
beat the allegations, buddy.
I'm not going
Nah,
to belabor this point. I think I was pretty fair when I originally gave it a 6 in the preceding months. I think, yeah, I'm going to stay fair. I think I'm only going to dock it 1 point, so I think I'm going to go to a 5.
All right, bro.
Mhm.
All right, bro.
What is?
Yeah, you're not being
What?
serious.
What?
All right, it's
This
okay.
is my
It's cool.
score.
It's okay. You don't. Yeah,
What?
cool. Yeah. We know what you want.
All
We know
right,
what you
man.
want.
Can we not be honest?
Mr. Man.
If I wasn't
man.
with 3 great employees of mine, I would legitimately crash out.
Hey,
at
bro,
you
you're
like,
not. You're not a serious individual.
I would.
All right, man. Y'all want me to
lose my
lie?
You're
mind.
not taking it seriously.
No, I don't want you to lie.
It's cool. You're not taking it seriously.
I just went down
here. We on camera.
It's my score.
It's we having fun.
Kermah in the booth ready to fight you right
This
now.
is not easy. Didn't finish Agatha, didn't finish the Penguin. X-Men 97 is a 5? Yeah, you here for the jokes.
Oh,
It's
no.
cool. It's cool.
Can y'all let me have
you
my
know
10
what?
bar?
You know what's really funny? People be
Alright.
like, yo, man. The reason the NBA, you don't show your hairline. The reason the
Don't
NBA,
say that.
the reason the NBA's in trouble is because of Chuck and them. They not.
Yeah.
You not watching the games, man.
God,
You complaining about the games you not watching, bro.
I get all that
Here's the thing,
97.
here's the
I was
thing.
there.
It's
You
really
not
great
being
to know that
serious?
we're bookending the year with the exact same attitude that we had.
Oh
the beginning of the year.
You're
What
docking
the
it a
fuck?
point. Just you're docking a point.
No, I'm not.
Why you docking it?
Why?
Dog, 'cause
Wipe down.
once again, I ain't wanted to watch one single set. I didn't rewatch that shit. I haven't
God
thought
damn
about
it,
that
man.
shit.
Jesus
I went
Christ.
on about my
You
life.
didn't
It's just
say-
not for
Man,
me.
even when fucking
It's not
Nightcrawler
for
and Wolverine
me.
did the fucking bam.
The 5. Here's the thing. The 5 is accounting for the episodes that I did like and the moments that I did like.
Like what?
Jesus Christ.
The Nightcrawler fucking bamping and shit, the way they did that
Yeah.
shit. There were a couple different fight scenes that I was like, oh shit, like I've never seen the X-Men fight like this, even in the cartoons.
When Emma Frost was stirring shit, when
Yeah, but
fucking Rogue
But
and
there was
Gambit
the-
had their heart to heart at the
sacrifice.
fireplace. What
Gambit
the-
sacrifice at the end of episode
Nothing.
5. Bet.
Flatline.
no,
for
that's
you.
why it gets a
remember
5.
it.
Remember it.
Man.
Once again, all of these great moments are.
Yeah, you watched 2020. You watched 2012. Messi scored 90+ goals. Was like, that shit was cool.
God,
whatever,
oh
man.
my.
It was cool.
Do y'all want me? Do y'all want me to
2016
be?
Steph Curry.
do we, all right, we
he
gotta
hit
have
that
this.
shot at OKC.
Do y'all want me
He
to be
was like-
honest, or y'all want me to?
No,
want me
listen,
to-
I mean,
I
I
would
know
never.
that you didn't like the show. Just the hilarity of I gave it a 6. I'm only gonna go down 1.
Like it's just some fucking show.
To me, it is.
All right, man.
To me, it is. I'm sorry, guys. Our number one
man.
show.
Let's go out on a good note here.
Our number one show of the year. We'll see if it stays this way. Is Shogun. Van, Jomi, and I gave it a 12. Steve gave it an 11. And I think kudos. Like Van had this shit marked at the beginning. He's like, this shit too successful. They making a second season. He was telling us.
He locked
Yeah,
in.
no, yeah, he was-
So I
was
do
yeah,
think for that
soothsayer
reason
there.
it's a game changer. Just not most of this not spoken in English. Nobody was checking for this shit before it came out.
Yeah.
It's honestly, if it's not number one, it's in my top 3 TV shows just in general of the year. Had an amazing time with this. I'm sticking with the 12.
Definition of a 12.
Yeah.
Like a critically, commercially, artistically, bananas. Like definition of a 12. Star making.
Mm-hmm.
Another, we should also take into consideration when we're, in my opinion, when we're talking about 12s, is what kind of stars and entities are made out of this.
Yeah.
Like it or not, out of X-Men 97, there has been a star that has been made.
All right, man. We almost got through the whole episode, man.
I mean, that nigga relevant. And so I'm just saying, y'all don't know, nobody knows what happened. Why is everybody so upset? But and then like Shogun has revived some really great careers and added juice to them, but there've also been some stars that have been made in Shogun. Shogun is about as successful a television launch as you can have, short of
Went
the first
crazy
season,
on the awards.
short of the first season of Game of Thrones, which is probably, it's a different time in TV watching as well.
I for all those reasons and more, I'm going with the 12. I think this show just completely and utterly changed my Tuesday nights and how I was operating this year. I wasn't thinking about Shogun. It was one of those things, hey, y'all gotta peep this show. You watch it and you're like, holy snap, this is literally the favorite thing I've ever watched ever. I mean, we talked about it on the 90 Nights list that we did a while back, but just Yabushiga, Fuji-sama, Anna Sawai, Call Me, like the entire thing was just fantastic. And so, like, it's a 12.
So we're all staying at a 12. Steve, are you staying at 11 or are you upping it?
It's up to 12.
Yeah! Come on!
Rewatch this shit again. No. I rewatched this shit again. I think this was in the summer, like well after this, and I was like, it's outside of like House of the Dragon, like I love shows that kind of have its juice in the penultimate episode and then have an epilogue type of episode like this. This is probably it's a perfect dismount for a show. I'm still kind of disappointed that they're making more.
Now they got to bring back Mariko-sama.
But I get it. I get why. Again, it's far too successful. But like, if this is all that we were to ever get, this is a perfect season of television. It's absolutely sublime.
Now I have a question for you guys before we move on. Yeah. You guys like it so much, but you're upset that they're making more of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
It's the thing where like it will if this was all that we ever got, it would never have the opportunity to overstay its welcome.
Yeah. It can never like dilute the product. If all we got were these,
and that's not to say that it couldn't be something great in season 2.
Yeah,
it could, but I think it's going to have a similar problem that I think House of the Dragon ran into, when it's like when you go from having a lot of material to work with to almost none at all. That's when the pen you like that
like you got then you got to work on real stuff. Not to say that like adapting something isn't like a skill or a craft in television writing that isn't a hard thing to do. They made an amazing show out of this. I'm just like that, but like as far as I know, and I've read the books now, like that is the story of the books, and that to me is told perfectly in this show. And then if you want to go past that, now you're just in uncharted territory. It's on you guys now to make something that's just as compelling.
Being honest, I think that's one of the problems that's hurting the MCU now. It's like the stories that we really wanted to hear. We're
running out.
We're running out of them.
Oh, I mean, there's number one, I disagree with that. I think a lot of the stories that are a big deal in the MCU might be a little difficult to adapt. Like Secret Wars is a lot.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
But but I'm talking about the classic runs have kind of been stripped for parts at this point.
I mean, maybe, but like there are a lot of things that they kind of haven't gotten into, and there's just the comics are so dense. Like,
there's never going to
I get what you're saying, but they're so dense. I just am just kind of, I always want more show.
I get it.
If something's good, I just always want more show.
It's weirdly, I had the same take when I saw the first season of The Bear, where I'm like, don't make more.
After so odd.
I know, but
I lean to Steve more.
I saw the first season of The Bear, and I'm like, don't make more.
Yeah,
don't ever make more, because you just made a perfect thing, and I don't know if that can ever be done again.
Is y'all care so much about the ecosystem of, y'all care about the art, but y'all don't want, these actors don't want to.
I get it.
No. I'm saying, I'm not telling you.
Wait. Let me say, these actors want to keep working.
I get it.
These producers want to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
These networks want to keep working.
Yeah.
They don't want to, hey, there's no such thing as an actor sitting around going, hey, we made an amazing thing for one season.
Yeah.
So next year I want to audition.
And I'm saying in my perfect world, Mark Hamill would never have to work another day in his life because he was Star Wars in 1977. So like that's all that I would have wanted. Oh, like that he would never need to.
I think the difference for me, I don't think The Bear is a good example, but I'm like, for a lot of these TV shows, I'm just like, they got one foot in, one foot out. If you're really a TV show, then drop every fucking year. Like give me that. A lot of these like actors are just like, yeah, we making more, and then I gotta wait 3 or 4 years, and I'm like, Motherfucker, I don't want
The bear
this.
doesn't do that, but
I'm saying the bear.
That's coming out in like 5 minutes.
But like that was the
Season
problem with
4.
Atlanta. By the time Atlanta came out, you was like, damn.
Well, they had it at first, but then after that, they was like, well, everybody blew up. That's a group that put themselves first. They was like, we're gonna go do these movies.
You'll get Atlanta when you get Atlanta.
Yeah,
I gotta go do Spider-Man Homecoming.
That was a group that they were like, yo, we popping and we gonna go get to it.
I gotta go blow up Hiroshima and Eternals.
I gotta go all of it, man. Redbone about to drop, man. Like it said, I gotta do Megatron and all that shit.
Zazie Beetz was like, yo, I gotta go be Deadpool too.
Yeah,
You know what
like
I'm
so
saying?
but it almost seems like with that show, and we never talked about it when we were doing our
recap.
amazingly and critically acclaimed recaps of Atlanta. Is that it almost seems like they had a pact to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
they all
like
came
they're
together
coming
'cause
together like we will finish this.
A lot of them, that was their launching pad. And it seemed like everybody got so hot that they had a pact that we gonna go do our thing.
But I
and
think
then
they
we
also
come back
understood
and
it was a
finish.
cultural show.
It
In a way that
was, yeah.
like Friends is popping, but I'm like, there was other white people shows like that.
Mm.
Atlanta's not the first black show ever, but it was the first where it was like, oh, people are taking this, like
For real serious.
critics are taking this seriously.
Real
But
seriously.
like rejoice. Like I told you guys it was gonna be more shows.
I hope that it's great.
I'd have fired everybody if I was Disney, and then I'd have recast Shogun with all new actors.
Yeah, there's a problem with Star Wars because you're like, I always want more, and then they give it to us. You like, God damn, I wish
Not
they
like
give us
this.
that.
Not like this.
You think you don't want more, but the same people that was like they don't want more Star Wars have been complaining that there hasn't been a Star Wars movie since the last
2019.
Skywalker or whatever, and y'all hated that one,
Mhm.
well, because it was bad, so.
right? And it was kind of bad,
Right.
And so, but you want to get kicked in your
And
nuts
guess
again.
what? The odds of it staying that good all the time get lower and lower after every season.
Well,
So then
speaking
how
of getting kicked in the nuts, can I go over? This is our official best of the year
Okay,
with our scores.
Uh-huh.
In last for movies, Madam Web has an average score of 1.5. Then it's Joker Folie with 2.75.
Yeah.
Kraven has a 3. Venom The Last Dance has a 5.25. Godzilla vs. Kong has a 5.5. Gladiator 2, 5.75. Deadpool and Wolverine the same, so they're tied. And then our top 4 is Furiosa and Monkey Man tied at 7.25. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes comes in at number 2 at 7.5. And Dune Part 2 is an 11.25. That is our best movies of the year.
Mhm.
Then for TV, let's see. All right, last is Echo. Damn.
No, last is Avatar.
Oh, wait, no. Last is Avatar at a 3.25.
Yeah.
Echo is at a 4 now. The Acolyte is at a 5.5. Invincible Season 2 is a 6.25. The Boys is a 6.5. Agatha All Along is 7.75. Penguin is an 8.75. Then our top 3 is House of the Dragon, 9.25. X-Men is a 10.
Mm.
Shogun is a 12. How are we feeling?
Jesus.
Feeling great. X-Men just getting fucking hated on, baby.
What
By
are you?
one person. By one
That's so
person.
funny.
Y'all don't
That's
want the
so
real,
funny to
bro.
me.
Y'all don't want me to be real. It's
No, I
fine.
want you to be real.
that
No,
was-
y'all want me
Please.
to be political.
That moment
It's
was worth it.
No, I need it.
Oh my God.
That's a wrap. Next Monday, the Ringerverse recommends comes to you with their December recommendations. Did you guys have good stuff to recommend in December?
I did.
You just
I
recommend-
Yeah.
just did.
recommend something.
Yeah, you do. So what's up there for you?
I'm not going to spoil the recommends.
That's true. You want to spoil it? I know what I'm doing. Also next week, Min Edition is back with Jess Clemens to talk about the things they missed in 2024.
Mhm.
Any hints of stuff that you guys missed?
Me with that bullshit. No.
Oh my God.
I don't know. It's gonna be found
That
out.
was so whack.
This is why you keep me around.
That was so whack. Kerm,
Is Kermah gonna be back next week? Is that what?
Yo. 2025. Just gonna be an empty chair.
Yeah.
Hold our dishes. Come to Spotify.
No, it's me in the corner, just like sitting silently because I'm in timeout.
Christ
our
alive.
producers are Jonathan, soon to be fourth chair Kermah.
All right.
Aleya, SOB Zenieris. Oh, we are so happy to have Steve back.
Yeah.
Jomi the Explainer, Adeniran on socials. Hashtag double Jomi7.
Oh, because remember the beginning, we're talking about me being a Nigerian
Double
operative.
Jome 7.
Say double Jome7. Double O.
They call me 007. 0 kills, 0 assists, 7 deaths.
If you're a Nigerian agent, shouldn't it be Agent 619?
419.
419. You're an agent 419.
I'm a prince. Send me money.
Why do they call it 419?
I have no idea.
Why is that what it's called?
Maybe it's the phone number. I don't know.
An additional production from Arjuna Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out.
Midnight Mulligans is a wrap, and the boys are still alive. I'm an honest critic. X-Men 97 is now 5.
I gotta say something real quick.
Oh,
no.
Wait.
We already got
yeah,
deep shadow.
cut it.
Wait,
Yeah.
I got what?
Cut down.
What?
Yeah.
No, let him
Let's
go.
go.
Let him
What?
go. Let him go.
So I'm deep into the heavy spoilers, new rock stars, screen crush
Yes.
world. I like all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if to me that there are a lot of people right now that are taking shots at new rock stars.
What's going on?
Just a lot of different stuff. I'm seeing a lot of negative new rock stars energy.
Yeah.
I still fuck with new rock stars. Do you watch them?
Yeah, no, they're a great show.
Yeah.
I watch every Ringer video 20 times and then I check them out.
Why can't
you hold space for both? Is what you're saying?
yeah, why
I am
can't
holding
we-
space for both.
But why can't we say that we like to watch some other content?
I do say that.
Charles, what YouTube content creators do you watch?
Oh shit. A lot of cooking shows. Action Bronson's Fuck That's Delicious.
Oh, you like him?
A lot
Matthew
of
Matheson is good too.
yeah, a lot of Japanese like architecture, like showing me their like little fucking their homes that they are super fucking well designed and shit. A lot of what? You asked what I watch.
What type of
Bro, you
black-
watch interrogation
what
videos.
type
Why are you
of-
looking at him like
That's
that?
kinda,
Yeah.
First of all, a lot of people watch those.
Yeah, a lot of people watch those.
Yeah, but Charles, you always on some like, anime Far East type shit. What black shit do you watch on YouTube, bro?
We're black. Oh, I've gotten really into fucking like Cameron fucking talking shit on his podcast. I
Wait,
mean, like
Cameron's
I
got a
went back
podcast?
and watched the
Cameron
fucking
and Mace.
Dipset Locks versus
right.
Bruh. Like Cam, do y'all know about the lore of Cam and all Cam's different beefs and situation coming up?
He's had a
I
lot
knew
of
him
beefs.
and Mace had beef, and so like the fact that they're like doing the show together means something.
Yeah, but they were friends.
They were brothers, like not like but brothers.
That
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah.
beef, and then they came back. But the infamous call to Hot 97 with Cam and Jim Jones when Mace is up there giving an interview, you would have never thought that they would have been back cool like they cool right now.
Really?
Oh my God. Have y'all ever heard this?
I've never. Heard
I
it.
haven't heard it, no.
Oh my God. Mace is giving an interview.
What year was this?
It's on 2004, 2003. Mace is giving an interview on Angie Martinez's show. And or maybe it's Miss Jones. Whatever. Whoever it is, whatever show it's on, they do this thing that they used to do in New York now on Hot 97, where it's like, oh, you're saying something about people. Hey, just to let you know, we got Jim Jones on the phone.
on the
right
line.
now."
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
And then he goes, would you like to talk to him? And Mason's like, sure, I would like to talk to him. And then they get him on there. And you would have never thought that these guys would have been cool or good after this. But actually, if you listen to it, Jim was super mad at Mace. And you could tell that Cam and Mace really had genuine love for each other. Because Cam wasn't even trying to go at Mace as hard as what Jim was.
Now that Cam is at the age now where I'm just like, I understand why Dipset and everybody was always beefing with you. Like,
Why you say that?
how he breaks down how the verses happened and why they lost is some of the funniest shit ever. He's like, we was trying to go on tour, then niggas was fighting on stage and that shit got canceled. That's why I was just like, bro, why you blowing up Dipset's spot, bro?
Hey.
I will say this, my favorite interview of all time was when I got to interview Dipset and I realized I was just like, this is why y'all not together.
Who all was there from Dipset?
Well, it was a very inebriated Joel Santana and Freaky
Okay.
Zeke.
Freaky Zeke.
Cam did not show up.
Okay.
Jim Jones was off somewhere. There was a lot of fucking weed smoke in the room. And I was just like, you know what, guys, you are legends. But I think
I'll
that
tell you one thing. Whether they come together, pause as they would say, or not, the Dipset movement,
Tough.
of Dipset when they had what they was doing, man, they had niggas in Baton Rouge wearing pink T-shirts and all of that stuff. That
the pink fur.
Dipset cultural movement was something different.
All right, so before we get off this, because Jomi, you're too young.
Way too young.
The Cam, Mace, Jims, what are the best people calling up at the... Ray J's the number one.
Okay,
Ray J
was amazing.
Okay, so these are the best people calling a radio show ever, calling in ever to
Ray
me.
J for the Breakfast Club.
Ray J and the Breakfast Club, crazy.
Amazing.
Cam and Jim calling up Mace, crazy. When the locks were on Angie Martinez and Puff called, because the locks were on Angie Martinez and they were mad about their deal with Bad Boy, and then Puff called, crazy. Okay.
This wasn't a call. Shout out Charlemagne. But when Charlemagne got ran up on outside the...
God damn.
What? That was a legendary moment.
Actual violence.
It was funny sounding.
So that, there was another one where the locks were up there. Either the locks were up there and 50 called them, or 50 was up there and the locks called.
What was the one with 50 in the game when he called up to Hot 97?
Oh, that was different. So that was when, so the game wasn't with the G Unit anymore.
Yes.
And the G Unit was up there and they asked what was up with Game. Is he with the G Unit? And they said, nah, man. It was like, where does the Game stand with the G Unit? It was like around the corner, like blah, 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 blah. But the funniest interview ever, the funniest interview straight up in hip hop history ever. Rest in peace, Combat Jack. Right? Rest in peace, Combat Jack. Dame Dash is on Combat Jack's show. And it's Dame Dash, Combat Jack, Premium Pete, and Just Blaze, a legendary hip hop producer.
Yeah.
Dame and Just Blaze apparently had some issues or whatever.
Of course.
And somehow this entire interview comes back to the fact that Dame at some point saw Just Blaze wearing a fake New York Jets jersey.
A fake Jets jersey.
A fake Jets jersey. This is what Dame claims. Now, I don't think that it was actually a fake Jets jersey. I think it just wasn't the jersey that the players wear on the field.
Right.
And so, for some reason, Dame, and this is the kind of, you guys gotta look, I know this will all be post-credits, but you guys gotta look sometimes at like the way a nigga can play with your head. And that's what I really learned from this issue. So Dame and Just Blaze are going back and forth, and Dame goes, you know, just like the time when you had the fake New York Jets jersey on. And right away, Just Blaze is triggered. Like right away, he's triggered. He remembers this story on a really,
and then
really...
it's immediately about that.
And then the rest of the whole time, Dame is like, he's very calm, but he's fucking with Just Blaze. And Just Blaze could never get it back. And Just Blaze, legendary. There's not a diss on him, but that is the funniest fucking thing ever.
It's just to know that you know exactly what to say to somebody just to set them off.
Yeah, and then because Combat Jack and Premium Pete, they didn't know what was going on. They had no clue what was going on. It's like, what is about this Jets jersey? And apparently, just real quick, Dame had Just Blaze in the studio for a long time, and they had something they had to go to. So Just Blaze just went to Modell's and bought a Jets jersey, but it wasn't the authentic Jets jersey. So Just Blaze, so Dame is like, yeah, it's like when I saw you with the fake jersey on. Now, after my tutelage, I know that you have value for real jerseys. And it was just, if y'all,
come on,
if y'all want to laugh, bro, if y'all want to laugh, it's funny.
It is funny, bro.
But that was a classic era of shit like that. The Breakfast Club got a bunch of them too. But
Birdman. No one called out for that, but the Birdman was...
Birdman, insanely...
Soldier Boy, the first Soldier Boy
funny,
one?
The first Soldier Boy one. All of that stuff. But like back in the day, they used to make these moments and they would be on the radio. They call you, hey, Puff, what do you think? The locks are here saying that they got robbed. And then there's Jada yelling at Puff and the whole nine is funny. There used to be a channel called Hella Classic on YouTube that would have all of these, but I think they shut the channel down because I think most of that shit is probably copywritten.
Damn.
Don't get me started on Pepsi when he called the Atlanta radio station too. Izzy Miyake a bond number, you gonna smell my cologne. Okay, anyway.